It's that time again. Welcome to the stage. Oh yeah. Where energy and creativity collide. Here we go. Let's level up. Make this something to remember. All right.
NACE Star League returns for Counter-Strike. It's Friday, and that means we are prepared for some fantastic games. We're into the playoffs, and we start with a round of 16 today. It's going to be fantastic. My name is Vincent, and I'm joined by Birdie Box. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you doing tonight?
Having a great time. It's been a while since I found myself here, but heading into playoffs, it's definitely an exciting prospect because we do have lovely games of Counter-Strike coming up.
That we do, yeah. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. But if you are just joining us, you don't know what's been going on. Here's how the season works. We had the regular season. That was 8 weeks of play, led into the conference play-in. All of that into the conference championships, which was the ticket to get into the playoffs. If that didn't work out, well, the last chance qualifiers were your last chance to do so. And this is the playoff time, which all leads into an in-person grand final. That's going to be happening on December 2nd to 4th, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But here's what we have prepped and ready. Kansas State University going up against Northeastern, and in our second matchup, some fan favorites, at least on the desk here. Kennesaw State going up against the University of Guam. This is going to be interesting, to say the least, Birdie Box.
Yeah, absolutely, because, I mean, this being the first round of playoffs, you do see the higher-seeded teams going up against lower-seeded teams right off the bat, and that's going to create for some interesting matchups, and as we kind of talked about, lots of upset potential, to say the least.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think more so on the Northeastern side of things than the Guam side of things, but to be fair, we'll get into the details and why and the how and all of the specifics as we get into things a little bit later. But I want to talk about right now what we're playing for. That's scholarship prizing, $2,500 for first place and a cool $1,250 going to the second place team. It's okay if you come in third because $625 is still going your way. And listen, college is expensive. Any little bit counts, and this is certainly quite a bit into that direction.
Yeah, and listen, if college isn't expensive for you, then maybe you could take the first place prize money and get yourself a single NVIDIA graphics card.
Yeah, listen, those do not come cheap, but you know what you can get your hands on right now. Maybe get your hands on some Monster. You can level up now with the Monster Energy Apex Legends. Every tab that gets claimed allows you to unlock exclusive Apex Legends in-game content and gives you a chance to win the grand prize. All you have to do is scan the QR code to sign up and claim your skins right now. It is fantastic. You and I, Birdie, we play a bit of Apex Legends together, and it's a fun game. Definitely want to make sure that you don't miss out on this brand new legend. Catalyst is sort of busted, so if you are enjoying that, playing some games, definitely go ahead and check it out and grab you some Monster Energy as well to do so. But with that being said, let's dive deep into the weeds. Let's figure out what's going on and how things are going to be going, because here is the bracket. It's single elimination. And if you're curious what I think, well, I put out all my predictions on Twitter just a little bit ago. But let's talk about what we have tonight. Davenport getting the bye, Drexel, returning champions, getting the bye as well, and MTU have already won the round of 16 matchup. Everybody else has got to continue to fight for it. And on the top side of this bracket is Kennesaw State and Guam. That's happening later tonight, and Kansas State as well as Northeastern are the matchup that we're about to look at.
The scary prospect here as I look at this bracket is honestly the fact that like whoever wins the second matchup tonight is probably going to have to play Davenport in the round after that. Just like you're looking at this and it's just like anyone in the same group as Davenport is just extremely upset right now, to be honest, like across the board.
I mean, you know what? That's true, but also anybody in the same area as Northwood on the bottom side of this bracket.
True. Yeah.
Same deal. Definitely not having a good time in the slightest. Those are the two heaviest hitting teams, and that's with the understanding that Drexel are the defending champions. But Drexel, a key missing piece is Nova to that roster, and despite how strong I think the rest of that team is, it's still an uphill battle against the likes of both Northwood and Davenport. So that's how things are looking on the bracket side of things. As the weekend unfolds, you'll be seeing more and more about these as we'll be looking at the quarterfinals and the semifinals as they go down. But here's how things tend to go for Counter-Strike. If you don't know, it's 40 seconds on the bomb timer. You get $800 to start, and you make more over the time with 30 rounds overtime enabled as well. So let's talk about it. I think we've dodged all the bullets that we can. Northeastern, they got the guns pointed straight at them.
100% on the same page. I mean, just in case you didn't quite get to spot it earlier, Kansas State currently 6-2. I think that doesn't include their loss against Northwood in the conference playoffs, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. This is during the regular season, and Northeastern currently being 2-5. There's a lot of disparity there. It can't really be ignored in the rosters you can see on screen in front of you, but definitely gonna have to come in as the underdog. There's really not much. You can't. I would say it's difficult to make the argument otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing against that, to be honest with you. I think Northeastern would feel the same way if we were to ask them right here, right now. One thing to note, though, about Northeastern is that they have been playing together. I mean, they've been playing ESCA together, now granted in open, but they've been playing together. And I think that does give them a bit of an edge against teams that aren't quite that cohesive. Of course, it doesn't necessarily matter if you can't shoot back fast enough.
Yeah.
That's yet to be seen. I think we'll get into that. But what I do know is that Northeastern have taken a really big victory in the regular season. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify, the big victory you're talking about is Kennesaw, correct?
Of course.
Yes, of course. Winning 2-0 against them, it was definitely the surprising start to the season. I don't think anybody was expecting. We talked about that over the course of the season as well as we covered the respective teams and their progress. But that's a dangerous thing to be looking at, as a dangerous mark on the record. Where if you're Kansas State, you're going to come into this and at least for the beginning, until you establish any sort of dominance, if that doesn't end up occurring, you're going to have to be on your best game.
Yeah, and I think for a Kansas State roster that probably is looking at Kennesaw as a team that is at the very least on the same sort of playing field as Kansas State. Maybe they wouldn't admit that, out in the open, but I think if they were being honest with themselves, there's some similarities there, and in fact, Kennesaw have proven themselves a couple of additional times than Kansas State. So the fact that Northeastern have been able to beat a team at that caliber definitely gives us pause. But the problem is, if that was one piece of supporting evidence in a wide array of evidence that this Northeastern team had something more to offer than their record, that would be one thing. But unfortunately, Birdie, I feel like that's just kind of the only thing that suggests that in their run. I mean, you were looking over the rest of their games. What kind of stood out to you, or rather maybe didn't stand out to you about this Northeastern team?
I mean, specifically, it's just that a lot of losses on the road. They did get a forfeit win to ODU, but that Kennesaw win is the only match they actually played that they ended up going their favor, which is surprising considering obviously the amount of teams and the amount of matches they played after the fact. But I don't know. It's difficult to say what to pinpoint, because you have to consider as well, I would say, that because they play in the ESCA, there's a lot of matches they're playing. There's a lot of throughput, I would say, of Counter-Strike constantly, and it's difficult. I mean, you could say it's a benefit, you could say it's a positive. I would argue that that's a benefit in the sense that there's just so much extra time being spent with your teammates that, like someone like me, I would have never been able to get.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I think that definitely does give them some pause here. It gives them some positives to walk away from, but at the same time, I do think that to me at least, it suggests that well, maybe they peaked a little bit too early in the season. That is a possibility.
True.
It's playoff times, and this is where you need to be peaking. I hope to see them step up. Where will they be stepping up, though? Well, Mirage is where we are starting out. Northeastern going to be choosing that. Overpass is our second map, and Kansas State have elected to go that direction. The remainder after the bans was Nuke, which honestly I think is a pretty good map pool. I think it's solid enough. The real kicker though is actually that will Northeastern be able to step up to the plate against Kansas State? I think that's the big question mark.
Indeed, and actually, I mean, it just hit me, Vincent. Something very important and very big changes happened to the game just a couple moments ago, right? And so let's talk about the impacts that could have coming into a match like this, right? AWP down to 5 bullets per magazine. The A1S potentially maybe not having the same impact at long range. Maybe now 5 shot to kill. That could sway people towards using the A4. And maybe, I mean, let's be honest. There's probably going to be some people heading into the server that are just going to forget to switch to the A4 if they want to use it.
Not me.
That could be dangerous.
I was using the A4 the whole time. Like,
of course.
Like a true Chad human, but you know, other people that wouldn't be thinking about. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that will have an impact, though. I think with how quickly the turnaround is between this game and that release, I don't know if this game will be impacted as much.
I think we see people play the same for now.
Yeah, I think there hasn't been enough time to really make any changes, and I think it would be a little bit foolish to, based on how small the changes were, though they could have big impacts. It's hard to say immediately what their impact would be. So I would hope to see some pretty standard plays in this as Mirage is getting ready to get started. I think we didn't talk a lot about Kansas State, but I want to talk about them here and now.
Okay.
This is a team that have been very good across the board. They have experienced players. We're talking, main experience with Mild, with Panda, as well as some main experience with R1. And the rest of the team, whilst they haven't necessarily had that level of success, they have a lot of league experience, which means team experience. And that team experience, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about Nace as well for a moment. I mean, let's be honest, they're in the same group as Davenport and Northwood here, and so that being their only 2 losses for the season, it's definitely a good record to have coming into this, especially when, as we prefaced before with the bracket, they're somewhat favorites coming into the playoffs entirely.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I think that considering those 2 teams that are there, it's hard to say, favorites is such a relative term, but
sure,
you're absolutely right. They're one of the heavier hitter teams, and they're seeded as such. 6-2 is not a bad record, and, well, 2-5 certainly not anywhere close to it. And I think for that reason, you have to put the respect on Kansas State's name. So for me, I mean, I don't know if we flashed it up there. I didn't notice, but I think both of us ended up going with Kansas State for our picks. We both feel as if Kansas State are the better team. Any further elaborations you want to pull out on that?
Not necessarily. I think that Mirage is very much a toss-up because it's one of those maps where, especially on the CT side, if you can pull out, we've seen double-op setups in the past be really effective, and it doesn't really matter how good you're fragging if you just can't find map control because you've got the ops just pinning you down, angle after angle, round after round. We could see Northeastern building some momentum. We could see ourselves heading to that, potentially heading into that third map at the end of the day, but I don't know. Mirage is one of those maps I feel like is going to be heavily impacted by the changes we saw tonight because op spamming is very common, right? Especially to those top mid smokes, going for those spams through apartments if you go for it, and a lot of opening tools especially as well. But only having 5 bullets in your magazine, Vincent, it's going to make you a lot more conservative, especially with the plays you make.
Yeah, you don't have the extra rope to go for those aggressive maneuvers. And you talked about Mirage as a bit of a toss-up, and I think toss-up for me is a bit of an aggressive term, but I think that if there is a place that plays can be made, Mirage will be it. Kansas State, I'm sure they're very solid at this considering how common of a map it is. But one thing that we should note is that this is a map Northeastern have played quite a bit. They've had some experience with it, some winning experience with it during their open season, and they also have had the opportunity to play a bit of Overpass. So I think that overall, this map pool, it's going to feel pretty good. I think Northeastern are going to feel like they picked well, It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to be able to actually pull off the victory. That's all that is left. All that is required. So we get down to it. The game is underway. The pistol round getting set up.
And so that story that we just briefed is now waiting to be sold. Northeastern. Lots of utility, actually. PT-50 as well in the hands of Valens. They'll start to position these players over towards the B-bomb site, but the bomb's shifting towards A, Vincent. Not quite what I was expecting.
Okay, so it's looking like instead of the B hit that we were initially thinking, it's going to be a mid to A split. Pretty much nobody taking these shots initially, and with that, it's pretty easy to find the two openings onto the site. Now, meanwhile, R1 brought things back to a more even scenario in the fight in middle, incurring with a at least brief hiatus.
That's a good frag, though. Mild to find an opening into the round, and 2v2 situation. I mean, I'm not sure if they spotted the cross back towards CT from Rhea, but this is an awkward situation to be caught in. You got the crossfire between Rape and CT. And, okay. Ends up being able to find the answer. Mild actually doubling up for headshots with USP. All of a sudden, Kansas State coming out on top, and it was an interesting round for sure. I mean, the A split initially working out, finding their way in towards the bomb site, and that crossfire just not really finding the right impact, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good crossfire. The ideas were good, but it wasn't quite as aggressive as it needed to be. Really, Northeastern allowing Kansas State to take those duels without actually applying the pressure that the crossfire would have allowed. So, and a solid round from Mild as well. Got to keep that in mind. I think picked up 3 overall. So, first round on the board for the CT side. Northeastern, they're buying back the sort of standard. I mean, I don't always love to see these force buys, but it is very effective on the T side, particularly.
And important to note, is Mild has already got the A4. I'm not sure if that's a switch that's he's had, as you know, you've been sticking to the A4 as well, but it's always nice to see. I wonder if over the course of the night we might see the change as well in the next best of 3, but contact towards Catwalk. Ray has taken some damage, but okay. Both players now below 50 HP, neither one coming out on top with the kill, and that could be consequential because that's information for Kansas State. Usually when you have players over towards chair, there's usually a couple more holding angles elsewhere towards window, towards connector, and so they will regroup, and it looks to be a split up towards Catwalk.
Yeah, smoke goes down in order to cover off that area, but Ansa standing tall and answering the call here on the site. And hear the apartments coming forward, but Ace swings out, finds the frag. Mild now coming to defend that site further. Only 2 to be had. And Akai, 1-on-3 against 3 MP9s. I guess this is somewhat doable with the full armor, but he's heard them. Heard them come out. Creates a 1v1, but Panda recovering a bit of an upgraded weapon is good to take that away from them. Kansas State. Good way to get on to the second round and stop the force buy.
And keeping 3 people alive here, I don't think I can overstate how important it is to keep at least 2 players on the roster alive, because the danger here from Northeastern, if they, as they got the bomb plant, is you'd bring the Kansas State money low enough to where you could justify going for another gun round, but you can see, as a result, they're not really fully investing. You've got 2 scouts being brought through, but still around $2,000 for each player to set them up for the gun round in round number 4.
Yeah, I think this is the right decision as well. I love that aggression from Panda. Just taking that duel up top mid. And takes off ahead as well. Valens down and out. Northeastern, what more can they be finding around like this? I mean, some pistol armor, sure. That's been hurt. Ace of Losers now position known.
I'm not sure if with that kill towards top mid, how much information Kansas State have as to what Northeastern invested with, but with that headshot, I think they'll note there's no head armor coming into this, and so now a pretty good idea. And this bomb shifts back over towards the A side of the map. The scout of Yogi gets absolutely eviscerated as R1 swings. That's a confident swing, Vincent.
Yeah, it is. That is a no consequences swing if I've ever seen one.
He's still holding.
He is. Yeah, he wants another. Nakai not even prepared for it. Takes a massive amount of damage, and Panda's going to be close.
Ooh. Okay,
Nice.
starting to draw weapons, and all of a sudden this eco round gets a little bit more exciting. Rifle recovered, and the player in the hands of a player with 99 HP. This is an open door for Northeastern, but damage control for Kansas State. Time ticking down to 30 seconds. So this is a gamble. Northeastern, they bail out. It's back over towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, fast rotate, that's for sure. Difficult to know if they'll get away with this, but the good news for Kansas State is that Mild has rotated into the B site and is going to take out the Kai on the aggression. 10 seconds remain. This has to be a one duel here and now. One chance.
No time.
It's no time.
Oh, tragic affair. They've got him. I imagine the hump for this, but he's just a little bit too out of reach, I imagine. Oh, the feet betrays him, and that sucks for one reason, and that means he's not going to have enough money to buy a gun into this round. That was dangerous.
Yeah. He needed to die.
I'm not sure if it was worth the risk, to be honest, because he was going to be buying anyway.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It would have been worthwhile to try and take guns out of the CT's hands. Those are objectively worth more money.
I'm definitely on the same
stack.
page. Not much damage, though.
Yeah, they dodged back around the corner, did Northeastern. Good awareness. I think they saw it coming.
With utility in a situation like this, Northeastern, they have 2 smokes, 2 Molotovs, 2 flashes. That's enough to kind of pick their targets, but with the control they have right now, 4 players over towards mid, they're really going to have to force themselves to take a duel or wait for that lurk towards Palace to activate. And this kind of plays into the hands of Kansas State. And, well, actually, I say that, but they're looking for information. They could be walking right into this mid setup.
Milo is in such a great spot, though. Even swings a little wide, but R1, in the meantime, is connected from the back of this mid area. Missed shots of down from Ace, but ultimately does at least get something for the trouble. But it's a 1-on-2.
I wonder if... so Buttermilk's got the information on his catwalk, so R1's isolated this apartment's angle as... Okay. Heard the drop, but taking a shot to the chest. All of a sudden, it's a dangerous situation. That rotation is far away, Vincent. A flashbang to help for the swing, and perfect to set him up for it. R1 will find the frag. The scouts held at bay, but that looked scary.
It did, but I will say that Kansas State, I love the swiftness for which they called the flash there.
Yeah.
I feel like many teams or many players, particularly if you're a bit more unexperienced or inexperienced, wouldn't be looking for that sort of support, and that's the experience of Kansas State showing itself.
And I wonder who called for that, whether it was the player in CT or whether it was the player on the bomb side, or maybe even one of the dead players. To be honest, it could be either one, but
I don't think it matters.
Not necessarily, but okay. Deagle finding a response, but this is a quick push up towards Catwalk. It's going to be Ace of Losers with the Tech 9, the bomb in hand to go down, but it's the B bomb side opened up, so Panda, he's rotated through, and the remaining 2 players, they're low in HP. Time in their favor. I wonder how they make use of it. Oh.
Kai just trying to get out of there. Maybe trying to recover a gun, rotate out. The gun recovery part of this, not so effective, but the rotate, definitely so.
It's all red. They're walking to an empty bomb site, and Kansas State, they're not going to know the better of it. And Ray is already in a good post-plan situation here. I mean, I would say if it wasn't for the fact that they're on low HP, this is a done deal. And up towards Catwalk, though, unfortunately for Akai, it's going to be Panda to find that kill. Ray, he's going to need to set himself up for the multi-kill here. He cannot wait to pick the first guy off.
Yeah, definitely need to exercise some trigger discipline, and they don't check him. The chances, they're here. He spots the one, knows where he's at, takes the first shot, but misses it, and Buttermilk gonna take it. Doesn't end up losing a single HP.
That was it, man. The moment that smoke drops, you just knew that it wasn't gonna go the right way. It's such a difficult angle to fight when you're still having to hunt that last player as well, just before you kill the defuse. And Kansas State, this is 5 rounds in a row, and it has to be said, Vincent, some of these have been close, but it still just feels like Kansas State are hitting the right shots.
Yeah, and I think that's the setup you and I were talking about. Is at Northeastern, we're potentially going to struggle with just finding the connections, but they've actually found a great find in this round. The opening pick towards Buttermilk, not to mention that, but a sort of wide open middle with the aggression towards underpass, but that's going to come
is
to fruition
wild.
here and now. Ace of Losers finds R1 at ramp. And Rhea turns around at the right time, finds the frag. It's a trade, but it's just a trade, and Mild left alone, 1-on-4.
Okay. Bomb planted, and this is not really the angle you want to be approaching from, but no one's really paying attention. Ace of Losers is the first to go down, but now he has to contest with 3 other angles. Pay attention to the man towards Balance, because he should be the next to swing in any situation, and indeed he will be. Balance to close the round. The first round for Northeastern, and that was a really great situation towards mid. There was almost a mistiming. I think it was Yogi towards Chair who just didn't notice the 2 players walking up connector, and that could have been the end of the round, but at Kansas State, they just fall through.
I mean, I think there was certainly a bit of luck involved in that with Northeastern catching Kansas State, double aggressing in towards underpass, but ultimately you're right. Great timing to turn around, and Rhea especially saving them. Northeastern up against the pistols this time, and great adjustments from Ace of Losers. Double kill can be easy to go down, particularly against the 5-7s that were at hand. But 5-7s, Deagles, they are definitely still deadly. Buttermilk, Panda, they both picked up 1 apiece, which equalizes things into a 3-on-3.
Can we just talk about? I mean, this is usually given in Counter-Strike, but Kansas State won 5 rounds in a row. They lost 1, and they're down to pistols. That's so ridiculous to me, even in the modern day.
I think part of it, though, you got to give credit to Northeastern. A lot of those rounds were very close.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Yogi's dodging bullets. Only 1 more needed to drop that AWP, and Panda's in the flank as well. So I don't think Kansas State. They're going to convince themselves to go for this. If not, just the exits.
I mean, they should go for this. I don't think there's any reason not to.
I agree.
I mean, they don't really have a ton invested. Panda, I mean, sure, there's this AK, but I think they're buying next round. And they don't know. There's no idea.
The player with sandwich, he's not going to be spotted out, and the trade does actually come through. The 5-7's found so many kills, but yeah, that should just seal the deal. No smoke to extinguish that one. Mild. And recovered AWP. That's actually a massive pickup for Kansas State. Despite losing the round here, that was Pistols, which just found 4 kills and recovered AWP.
I have a question.
Okay.
What bank did Akai just rob that he has 8,500?
The Bank of Mirage?
I guess he did. I don't understand how he's so rich. I guess, to be fair, he's the only surviving member, but you don't get extra cash for being the only guy to survive.
Do you see how many deaths he had?
No, I did not catch.
Okay.
We'll take a look next time. Oh, this is a B-rush. The snake could be massive for Mild. Here's him coming. A little bit of a lurk smoke to play around, but it's so swift. The aggression from Ace of Losers, it's Ansa. At least claws things back. Panda's rotated in, the AWP rhyming in. R1 swings out wide, it's Yogi. 1-on-3.
Pathing here is really what's been sealing the deal for the Northeastern side. They managed. Okay, that's just disrespect. You know what I mean? I know exactly where you are. I can't kill you, but here, take a couple bullets to the head.
I mean, I think we just saw our first impact, by the way, with the changes made tonight.
I agree. Yeah.
A reload to the AWP.
What?
Well, I mean, you just don't reload the op like previous.
Or if you did, it would always be like on rotation. It was never necessary like in the moment, which is, I guess,
Yes.
That's the impact that we're starting to see. That's not only going to affect T-side hopping, as we just saw, but it's going to affect CT side hopping in the same way. If you're on the bomb side and you've already used 3 of your shots, I mean, you need to be very careful about how the next few connect.
Absolutely. Not free shots, but Panda taking free bodies and dropping them down. That's a 3rd for Panda. Give him another. Has another define here in top mid and is looking to aggress into it. There, no, just a leg shot for Panda. Knows that they're low and just take the pistol out to try and confirm. There it is. That one's brilliant.
Well, that's confidence. That's a confidence from an opera right there, and I would say exactly the reason why the AWP was nerfed. And despite the fact that he goes down ace denied, that's great to see. You always love to see nice flashy clips like that. And Northeastern, that's an unfortunate round to lose. That was a gun round, right?
So yeah, it was. That is the tragedy. Kai had 7 deaths, by the way, so 6 previous to this. One thing to
that
note.
explains a lot.
Panda denied the ace of losers.
I can't believe you just said this.
Well, you know what? I can't believe how awesome our sponsors are over at Extra Life. Change kids' health to change the future. Join their super page today. Make sure to check them out. Great people over there at Extra Life. We had a bit of a pause there. I don't know what tactics really went wrong in that round, other than Panda existed.
Panda go farm, yeah. Panda go kill. Honestly, I think that could be a popular strat moving forward for the Kansas State side. I could see it.
Yeah, that seems valid to me. 11-6, and unsurprisingly, Northeastern they're tentative over at mid. I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I mean, no utility to isolate the angles towards window, connector, catwalk, no flashbangs to kind of force the players off either. That's just not a fight you want to be taking, at least not on your own terms. And so they'll wait out the early round, make sure they're not being pushed, and players out towards top mid now. But Ansa, he's the only one hanging around. He might find himself the deagle on the screen in just a few moments.
He's only got like 7.
Oh! Disgusting.
That was indeed nasty. Rhea able to walk in, find an opening, a blinder as it was onto Ansa.
It's drawn the rotation over towards catwalk as well from B, and so Rhea given an opportunity to double up here. Shoulder exposed will mean that information now in the presence of the CT side, but still, this connector player is also being drawn towards this kill. Northeastern, they're ready to walk out towards the safe site. Unfortunately for them, there's still 2 more players ready and waiting, and including the recovered AK from... actually, no, that's in the... I take it back.
Great setup, great place to be here. Buttermilk farming him down. It's Rhea left alone, and he's taking another. Third? Maybe. Oh. There it is. The man's at Eagle minutes, and he wants a 5th as he picks up the AWP as well. Even gets the tag. No frag to be followed, and Kansas State at least win the round, but it got scary. Rhea making the moves.
I think given enough time, we could have seen a 1v5 there. Or maybe not, it wasn't 1v5, but the ace clutch.
1v3 ace, yeah.
We could have seen the ace clutch there. The deagle, man. I remember when it was nerfed a while back. What was it that they nerfed exactly? I don't remember what it was.
It was like damage range, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it was. I really wanted them to nerf the fire rate accuracy. I think that was the most outrageous thing, because being able to pop off shots like that, I mean, it's not the greatest, but when you hit them, it's you just feel so defeated on the other end.
At the same time, I think, well, we'll get back to this. R1 coming in for the first frag. Ace of losers going down. That's a guy you don't want to be losing, but Valens and Akai, at least they've brought this back. The bomb should be able to go down, particularly with the smoke. Oh, that's bounced in a very bad way. Nile? Not quite, but coming around the smoke. There's the AWP. Trying to play around the triple box. It's scary, but Valens stays alive. Somehow, some way. Ansa feels
They walked past each other.
And Panda is eventually going to go down. You're right, they did. Ansa has to deal with 2 different, very difficult angles.
He's lost track of the player towards middle as well, and so looking for that last fight, or at least one of the first fights towards CT. It's going to be Yogi, though, with that scoped weapon, not needing to reload in that situation. And so maybe we could have seen the difference if you dropped another bullet or 2 in the magazine. But Northeastern, the light hasn't fully faded yet. They're up to a 3rd round, and Kansas State, they're saving again.
That they are, yeah. I mean, the thing to say about Northeastern here is they haven't had tons of success, particularly not on gun rounds, but the gun rounds that they have had success on, it's been clear the damage done in the previous rounds by how swift the Kansas State economy falls apart.
Exactly. But this is once again a slower pace from Northeastern, but...
Back to the conversation about the Deagles, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
So, I tend to agree that they're powerful, but isn't that the beauty of Counter-Strike? The fact that you can have just such a high impact. Speaking of impact, Mild has to have some high impact here. Takes the shot. Eagle spam works good. He picks up the AK. He's going to be able to get the spray as well. Mild on the site. There's the 4th, and Mild for the ace. 2 bullets in the chamber. Picks up the knife, and Panda takes it away. Kansas State, the Deagles, they dominate.
Speaking of the Deagles, man, the textbook case of why, in my personal opinion, the fire rate needs to go down. But I won't deny, it's absolutely hilarious to see those rounds unfold. Because if you're Northeastern, it's like, oh, okay, he's just better. Like that's it, round over. Like, what do you do?
No, yeah, I mean it's hard to. Well, you check that what you do actually, realistically, but yeah.
True. Flashbang didn't help.
Oh my gosh! R1! Panda comes in for another as well, and I thought we had one upper. We really have two.
The timing towards the palace as well. R1's going to find that. This double up setup, I think I talked about this in the pre-match. Once you establish this double up setup, and you start choking the T side of any significant map control, that's when we start. That's where we start seeing the CT side lockouts, because it takes a special kind of team to know how to diagnose the situation and then find the opening. Because these ops move around, you know.
Yeah.
It's the picks towards early round, towards top mid, towards apartments, and it can be extremely pressuring. Dude, these flicks are crazy.
Yeah, so precise too, on just a signal zoom as well. That was very nice. That first shot though,
Something special.
that was outrageous, is what that was.
So let's think about this. Let's theory craft here. It's Northeastern back on the Galils here. They've kind of forced themselves into this round, and with what they've got coming into it, they need an opening here. They don't have the utility to play for these late rounds, and unfortunately for them, yeah, that nade's going to connect for a lot of damage. And the M4 and the A1S still on the board for Kansas State, now ready to set themselves up. Ansa only for one, though. It's a quick split in towards the B site, but in an off angle is Mild.
Yeah, this is going to be hard to read. Mild has dropped down. They've cleared this out. They think he's not there. Swinging wide, might blow, but he still hits shots and does damage to Akai. Panda, one bullet in the chamber. Needs to hit the shot. Might just take the pistol out, to be honest with you. As Rhea comes around, has to commit. Doesn't have the bullets and didn't know that he didn't either.
You know what's funny? Part of me thinks that if R1 was in that situation, he hits that flick just because of all the flicks we saw earlier on.
I mean, the problem is, ready? He doesn't because there was no bullets.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I guess case point, the changes have actually cost them a round. Well, potentially.
I mean, he wasn't gonna hit that shot,
but could have.
For the sake of outrage.
We love outrage. Outrage is great.
Kansas State, well, I'm gonna be outraged to lose a fourth round. Set things up though. A little bit of a weird situation. Close range, and Yogi just cannot do the flicking. Volley.
Ooh. Trades though. And the T side with the main disadvantage, but it's the timing from Valens here, which is set up to make the difference. He's not actually. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay.
No.
There it is. Valens finally making this turn on a pivot, but Buttermilk unleashes himself as he swings up through stairs and lets both kills on the T side towards ramp. But Valens, I mean, he was just caught out just a moment ago. Position revealed, and it's an 11-4 half in the favor of the CT side. You can't deny how close Northeastern were for a lot of that, but the scoreline, this is hard to argue against.
Yeah, I think the reality is that Kansas State overall were definitely showing themselves to be the better team, but Northeastern kept it competitive in a lot of those rounds. But nonetheless, if you want to check out another one of our amazing partners over at Dunkin', you can check out the panel down below. Find out where there's a Dunkin' near you. Pick you up some Dunkin' Donuts. Fantastic stuff.
This is confidence. They haven't really used a lot of utility, or just that smoke towards connector. They're forcing this fight in towards jungle. This is to set them up for the post plant, but make sure you can getting this bomb down is really the key point of this. But still 5 CTs alive. Northeastern have a good shot at this.
How'd they do? But it turns on its head with Panda stepping up, Mild, stalling out the push to CT in a very exposed position now, though. Are the CTs as they move forward? A 2-on-2 and the HP favoring Kansas in a massive way, but that's a smoke on the bomb. That smoke could change it, and the kit as well. On balance, they have to get him. They don't have it. No! They barely get away with it, Kansas State. There was so little time left. Northeastern get robbed.
I need a frame by frame of how close he was to that defuse. Surely it was milliseconds, right?
No, it was certainly within the tenths of a second region.
Devastating. No other word to be said other than devastating, because now you're at a 12-4 scoreline. You can't buy into this round. You need a gun round. It's Mirage. And
you say you can't buy into this round, but I've been watching some UC. It was
fair.
Like every round was a force round.
Okay, fair. You can buy into the round.
Listen. I watched Habu buy for 5 rounds straight. They bought until they didn't have any money, or until they had enough money to keep buying.
I respect the game. Fortunately, though, Northeastern they're losing their grasp on this one, and that was an eco. I mean, it has to be mentioned, but they haven't really set themselves up well for this one. Yoki's got the AWP in hand, but I mean, if you take a look, Vincent, there's absolutely no armor. There's just a single smoke for him. He takes a couple points of damage, maybe a nade. He's gone.
The nade especially is the big threat. Okay, never mind. If you look at MK's estate, there's 0 nades. There was 0. Not a single HE. There were mollies, and those aren't going to be effective at pushing him out. Oh no, Yogi! You gotta be a little more patient than that. Okay, never mind. Just take the shot anyway. Yogi, a little bit terrifying, but does connect the opening pick.
Yeah, playing a horror game for a moment there. The jump scare was just ready and waiting, but Panda activates now towards the A ramp as the op finds its difference.
That's Molly at top.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out who that was thrown by, but it's not going to connect onto Buttermilk. Was it thrown by the T side actually?
I think it was thrown by the T's, and I don't think it was meant to go there.
Interesting, but
don't know where it was meant to go, but.
Minute left on the clock, and with that opening towards the A side, it did keep an extra rotation over towards A, and so the shift over towards B is going to keep Northeastern not only focused towards mid because of the information that they're lacking, but it's going to make sure that this crossfire out towards B is going to be a lot more difficult. So the utility is going to have to be perfect to set them up, because they need to make sure these rotations are as late as possible.
Standard little smoke here, allowing Akai some additional positioning. They have no idea.
Weird. They're not clearing the back of the bomb site. They're too scared of this Callum angle.
Yeah, they're absolutely terrified. It's frag for it, but it's insta-traded. 2-on-2 in the plant for empty pillar, but it's all onto Buttermilk. Some of these rounds been buttery smooth. Others, this one looking to be the ladder.
Oh!
There's Buttermilk for the 1v2.
Galil's in shambles. Absolutely crazy. Every time someone does something like that with the Galil, it just has to be mentioned. My Galil doesn't do that. Vincent, your Galil doesn't do that.
No, it certainly does not.
But we love to see it when people's Galils do that.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. I want to know what skins they've been using. It's clearly the...
Or the gaming chair.
Well, we know what gaming chair they're using. It's
absolutely. There you go. I set you up perfectly for that one.
You did. Panda, ooh, taking a little damage there. A little dicey, isn't it?
Okay. Ansa is able to find the first, but the scout's
Nobody
still ready to be activated. It's crazy the fact that we've got 2 scouts still alive on the state bomb site, and Ansa's just trying to juggle between the 2, but I think it's this gunfight up towards B, which is ready to be activated. It's mild taking on Akai with the MP9, but awkward scenes on all fronts, I would have to say.
Ooh, nice shot by Ansa right there. Yeah, I don't know. This is like some outrageous maneuvering being done. Mild's finally going to find Akai. I say finally, not disrespect at all to Akai, but the length of time that gunfight was occurring needed to be in. Kansas State looking to end the map here. It's 15-4, and Northeastern.
That was the first round for Northeastern, by the way. Like more or less, like it didn't set them up for a gun round coming into this, and so this is it's not looking good, Vincent. Let's talk miracle situations here. What needs to happen for Northeastern?
I mean, to be honest with you, they just need to start hitting a couple of additional shots. I feel like Kansas State just have the confidence and they're pushing it to the limits.
You can see it right here. No flashbangs to assist Panda as he's walked straight towards the bomb side. It's bounced to connect to another shot, but that means he's been spotted out. But Terror's heading him way to Molotov, not ready to connect with the rifle at that close range, destined to come out on top. It's 2 players left to keep Northeastern in this map, to keep them going for 11 more rounds. Oh.
Right. Rhea, 1v4.
Sure, maybe,
Kansas
right?
State. This would be a massive smack in the mouth.
No kid.
Nice turnaround. Yeah, you're right. No kid. That's brutal. Is there a kid to pick up anywhere?
Sure, I mean, this was the first round, but doesn't necessarily matter. 16-4 scoreline for Kansas State on the map pick of Northeastern. Vincent, that was dominant, at least in terms of the scoreline.
Oh, yeah, and I think that despite the fact that I think two things can be true at once here. Right?
Okay.
I think number one, Northeastern did a good job of keeping some of those rounds very competitive, and I think Northeastern played a bit better than that scoreline suggests. At the same time, though, I think that the scoreline is also pretty relevant to how dominant some of the aim duels were on the Kansas State side.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get to see some of those flicks from R1 again. Steagles,
this
very bad.
is-
That's outrageous. The fact that he gets away alive, grabs an AK, and then continues to frag out. Northeastern's inability to punish this, it not only costs them the round, but it doesn't set them up well for the subsequent ones.
Well, here's that flick.
Oh, disgusting.
That man had one frame of a scope right there. Like, I understand that's technically not a no scope, but
Let's be honest.
let's be honest, it was technically a for real no scope. But anyway, just want to remind everybody, if you didn't know, if you were not here earlier, this is your chance to get exclusive Apex Legends in-game content. You can level up now with Monster Energy. Every single tab that you claim allows you to unlock exclusive Apex in-game content and gives you the chance to win the grand prize. You can scan the QR code to sign up and then claim your skins, battle passes, and more. Definitely check it out. I'll be doing the same as I do play myself a bit of Apex Legends. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you get involved with Monster as well. But Bernie, it is the end of map 1. Map number 2 will be Overpass, and I gotta say, I have limited hopes considering Kansas State picked this map. But we'll talk about all the details and what is going to be set up when we come back. We got a break coming right at you. We'll be back soon. Well, I'll keep it a buck, Birdie. That first map was not ideal for Northeastern, particularly not on their map pick. Overpass is coming up next, and, well, Kansas State, they picked it, and they have quite a bit of experience on it. Is there any silver linings for Northeastern University?
I mean, the silver lining is that the fact that they probably got a lot more experience on this than ESCA, and so there's definitely some experience on this. We don't really have to be worried about playing a map that they're not comfortable with.
Okay, that's fair. You know, that definitely does. That does give me a little bit more confidence than I otherwise would coming into this. But considering the domination that we saw on Mirage, I do think that there is some question marks coming in if you're a fan of Northeastern about whether or not this is going to be any more competitive. What do you think? If you were to have to be put your feet to the fire, do you think this is going to be more competitive than Mirage?
I mean, I'm certainly hoping for it. I mean, a 60-4 scoreline is extremely dominant. I'm hoping at the very least to see a couple more rounds. Overpass leads itself to be pretty momentous. If you can find that first pistol round, it's usually pretty easy to follow it up. B rushes are really the only way into the round. After that, I would say a pistol round loss. And so, it has to be said though, like, as much as like there is a road for Northeastern to grab some momentum and come to this game, pick up some rounds, I would say that comes with some of their players probably stepping a little like extra 10% on the knob, if you know what I mean. If we do see the players from Kansas State playing the way that we're on Mirage, the confidence on Overpass is extremely punishing.
Yeah, and I think that, to be fair, Kansas State, because they picked this map, probably going to be on starting the T side, which I think does give some openings over to Northeastern. They definitely can make that work for them. It's a lot more difficult to get the T side off on Overpass working well. I think it can be tough to even get that out consistently. But in addition to that, there's not a lot of places that it can find as much and as easy success as we were seeing Panda and R1 put on display.
No, I'm 100% on the same page, and this is one of the maps where the upping style of take a shot, fall back, line yourself up for an angle, take a shot, fall back, rinse and repeat, where we really start to see that. And so that actually, with the new magazine changes to the AWP, that might not be as effective as anymore either. Because once you fall back towards that bomb site, if the T side knows you've got no bullets left, why would they stop?
Yeah, they just shouldn't. You're forced to work with a pistol. Might actually make it much more worthwhile, ironically, to pick up a sidearm if you're working with the AWP as well.
True.
This is outrageous. This is outrageous. Do you see what I see? There's 2 kits for Northeastern.
I do see that, now that you pointed that out as well, but I'm also noticing just this heavy presence over towards B. You've got the bomb alone looking to... I'm not sure how this decision came to be, but if Answer goes down here, that could have been into the round immediately, but making contact with... Actually, no, this is it. That was the idea. Let the bomb be spotted and position it back over towards B. Unfortunately, they just weren't accounting for the fact that CT's from aggressive connector.
That's a bro moment right there. That is outrageous from Kansas State. They're going to get
Is that
lucky.
a yikes?
No, that's like a step above a bro moment.
Okay.
Yeah, just glad we're on the same page there. Kansas State, they're really fortunate that Northeastern really didn't feel they had the firepower there with the players to hold on to that bomb. Not checking the initial angles there. It's going to be Yogi to pick up a frag. Buttermilk for 2 on the refrags, though. It's a 3-on-3. Kansas State looking to hold defense against the tank. And
I like this.
Okay, Buttermilk just turns around, takes a head off an ace of losers. You know what? This one, he's just going for it.
I thought he was sniping. Okay, I didn't spot the Glock at first, and I thought he was going for that knife, but this doesn't set up ace of losers very well. I mean, the kit's just about the only thing he's got going for him, but it's planted not only for Heaven, but for Graffiti as well. And so this is a done deal. It's just a matter of time. Surely he sticks this, mild swing, step tap, it's around over. There we go. It has to be said, though, Kansas State weren't in that round for the entire duration. We saw the flank coming in from water, and there was a period where it was dicey whether or not they were going to be able to stay alive in those post plants. But it was the kind of the proactive heads-up play for Kansas State to push Graffiti, take that 2v1 fight, which put them into that 1v2 just to win it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. It definitely was a quick decision to be made. So, despite some maybe more questionable ones in the early stages from Kansas State, they come away with the victory. And this is an aggressive purchase, I would say. I mean, 4 MAC-10s.
I would say this is an aggressive setup in bathrooms. Okay, all right. A little bit awkward. They're
I
getting
mean, you got pistols. Honestly, you need something a little aggressive to work out.
That's something I've never seen before. Oh, that's Yogi getting caught off through the smoke as he emerges from it. But these MAC-10s are hunting. Honestly, at this point, I would say it's beneficial to push if you're a Northeastern situation like this. You don't have to wait until the MAC-10s keep farming for these kills. How is he alive?
Panda, how?
I have no words.
I have nothing to say.
Moving on.
And I refuse to elaborate. Northeastern.
Ops out already.
Yeah, I think to be fair, taking advantage. Okay, Yogi, I need you to stop buying an op with no armor. That's something that needs to be like stopped ASAP.
Especially because there's 3 MAC-10s alive.
Also, like they've bought HEs this time, so.
Yeah.
What was? Valen's little b-hop there is entertaining to me. We'll come back to that though.
It's a lot of information here for Valence. He's hearing all these footsteps as they go down connector, and Northeastern, they should be able to set themselves off the back of it, but based on that sound Kansas State, they come back up, and you can see Valence starting to shift his way back through bathrooms. Ace of Losers towards long starting to move his way back as well. I wonder if this is a ruse from Kansas State.
Well, the jig is up. Brought it out. Deagle goes down as well. Panda didn't invest any further after going down in the bonus, so or rather the anti-ego. And actually, I imagine Kansas State were gonna get ultra aggressive off the back of that, try to catch Valens out as he rotates, but none of that happened.
What's concerning me is actually the time. Kansas State, if they have control of water here, but this utility is not going to be enough to get them into the bomb site and have good positioning, and so the bomb might be able to work its way in here, but it's definitely not going to be able to stay down without some entrance. Sakai finds the first, but okay, back 10 start to have impact. The West of Rhea, though, is going to shine. R1 flashing the last map with an M4 in hand. This is when time's going to start to come into play because the bomb's down on the B bomb side, and he has 14 seconds to put it down.
Yeah, this is not going to be a win, no doubt.
Surely.
Okay.
Wait.
No way he gets away with this. He's going to get the bomb planted. They're running in. They're trying to find him. Rhea, oh, thank God he gets that. Northeastern.
Scary. A scary situation for sure, because you feel it as a player. You know, if your sandbag's there, there's one thought going through your head. Oh, I've got this. I just need to swing when he plants. Not a big deal. You swing, and when he's not on your screen, a sense of panic comes in. If all of a sudden we don't know what's going on, and that smoke makes it so that you don't have control of the situation either. And so, Ray, I would say not lucky to be able to find that kill there and prevent the 1v2, but I would say thankful for it at the very least.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It was certainly a little bit more dicey than really had any business being.
What?
All right.
Dude, why? These keep happening, and every time I'm thrown back in my seat as Yogi responds in kind. This op update hasn't really changed how effective it is.
No.
We're just seeing more. I think we're seeing more op kills somehow.
I mean, I feel like we're taking a very, very one-minded approach to these maps, or these two maps and these two teams specifically.
Yeah, but, small sample size.
Well, yeah, relatively tiny. One could say irrelevant, in fact, sample size. Northeastern, though, not feeling that those shots were irrelevant at all. In fact, ultra relevant to them and their flight. What is that flight? Oh, a big miss there from Yogi.
That could cost him, and he spotted the smoke. Surely he says, okay, there it is. Okay, now spotted out as R1 goes down in surprise. That wasn't a rifle out for him, but 2 players up towards A.
Oh boy.
For information, I'm surprised he gets that kill. Ansa caught off guard. The players looked out monster as well, but the MP9 just keeps delivering, able to reload. Panda unable to punish with the op, and rotated through towards heaven. It's Northeastern. That's a very nice round to be picking up. 3 players left alive.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned for Kansas State after these first 4 rounds. And let me explain why. I felt like Kansas State, like, from just a general gameplay perspective, they were very swift at taking advantage of situations. They really have not been aggressive in the right areas and the right times on this map yet.
I would agree. I think trying to read this op of Yogi, I mean, I'm already seeing the trend of that's going to be a gun that's going to have a lot of impact here for Northeastern. And so being able to dodge that, or at least read where it is so you know how to respond, is going to be important as he picks up another shot. The chase, potentially. Okay, that headshot,
Nice.
crucial. Not only is that a gun out of the hands of Northeastern, but it drops in a place where it's recovered. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh. That's a big miss there. Ace of Losers. Playing on ice skates works out for them brilliantly, actually. And Ends R1 are not going to pick up the op? What? There we
There it
go.
is.
Okay. R1. Gonna have to reload that bad boy, but ooh, we've seen the Deagles. We know
R1's
what they
going
can
to go
do.
for that swing. Surely, after that information, knowing where that player is, you go for that peek. You try to take that kill if you can.
There's 45 seconds left. I like this. I love that offensive balance. I love that angle too.
Can you? I don't think you can shoot through that. I'm pretty sure it's bulletproof. Maybe not with the op, but definitely with a rifle.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it with a rifle, but maybe not with an op. I'm not sure.
We'll have to experiment later. The labs, Vincent.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. In between maps, we'll do the testing.
Yeah, we're all, after all, scientists of the highest caliber, of course.
Of course. With
But look,
Eastern,
he's
this is
a
the
one
first
towards
lead. This is their first lead in the game. Can they hang on to it? It's B-Rush. There is a ton of fire. I like that smoke. Rhea trying to create some question marks.
Jump through.
God, no. Ansa is like, hello, Rhea. I'll be having your head. Thank you very much. Puts the bomb down, punches the numbers in, and finds themselves with a post-plant of massive proportions.
That smoke drop actually funnily enough creates an one-way for Panda, abused as Ace of Losers goes down. That's actually so unfortunate. There's no way he could have read that there's going to be a player there. Now Valens in a 1v4 with his op, he's going to have to save this because his team, they're out of cash.
It's Jame time, baby.
Do you mean Valens time?
No, I mean Jame time.
I don't know who James is. I only know Valens, the serial saver.
Why have you just branded him as a serial saver with no evidence whatsoever? That's actually outrageous.
You see, I'm continuing the trend of taking our small sample sizes and extrapolating them.
Ah, bad data, understood. You'd be a bad scientist, you know that?
No, what do you mean? We're scientists with the highest caliber.
Northeastern, well, bad news for them. Their lead, it's shriveled already. They had one single round. And that's I mean, you were sort of seeing the future there in the pregame. You talked about the B rushes and how effective they are. Well, that's why.
Indeed. It's just so easy to close up those angles, and you with only like one smoke, one flashbang, you can be in the face almost immediately. The time it's just
And they had more than that. I mean, they had like 30 Molotovs and
yeah,
you know the entire site
rapid
was on
firing
fire.
them.
Yeah.
This is a nice opening to the round for Kansas State. They've managed to get themselves into Fallon with no deaths, which is nice to see always. But not only that, but the Opper has also fallen back. Actually, is that on the B? Because Ray is boosted right now. Where's the op? That's not it. Never mind. Okay, I'm losing my mind. It's a little bit hard to read the radar, but water control now in the possession of Kansas State. This spells doom for the CT side because now they can't rotate away from B, at least not without being concerned by a lurk. And so information is going to be crucial. And this Panda lurks out with the op. This is dangerous.
Yeah, they've spotted Panda at least to a certain extent here.
Rotate's going down, or it was.
Panda had some backup leads. There's the op bringing out Yogi. Yogi takes the shot. Akai with the MB9. And from the this is brutal.
Where's the utility?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't really have it here at the very least. 2v3 trying to fight for the outlet positions is near impossible, and the 1v3 required not gonna happen.
I'm not sure I quite fully understand Kansas State's justification to just walk in towards the B bomb site like that. I mean, they had a flashbang. I mean, I saw it thrown later on, but the B bomb site's not really one you just kind of lurk into, at least not with the opening duel.
Not with the op either. I feel like that's
Yeah.
There's very few situations where you want to lurk out with the op as the opening. And that is very unique situations when that's effective too.
And the op's been handed over to the CT side now. We'll see how that impact comes through. I imagine one of them's going to pop up towards water in just a moment. The Deagle okay. Yogi's dinked in the process. Both players managed to get away.
Put him on notice over at B. Northeastern, you're going to have to be aware of that fact. Out.
With shot.
I'm not a huge fan of Valen's position right there. Out in the middle of the open, really, really difficult to make that comeback into Kai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Panda?
Panda
no.
will take those every day, but Ace of Losers might be spoiling this.
The bomb plant goes down beforehand, though. Nice awareness to swing off. I wonder if he heard a footstep, but it's all down to Panda now. He got two earlier, two crispy headshots, and oh, that's absolutely outrageous. The timing there. Welcome to Counter-Strike, Panda. That could have been a round win if you didn't turn it away there.
They really could have. Yeah, both ops recovered though. Or no, Rhea's gonna keep the AK.
Having two ops on overpass is dangerous. I respect the decision to keep the AK instead.
You know, you say that, and I mean, if you recover them, I don't think it's as dangerous, which Northeastern did, but also they've been pretty effective. I mean, you know, as outrageous as Valen's position was in the last round, he's been pretty good.
That's mostly because we haven't really seen the ops in a retake situation. Northeastern have been pretty good at keeping Kansas State off the bomb sites and without the bomb plants. And that's really where having the double up would be dangerous. Because
that's right.
If you're working back through CT with an op, how are you going to find those kills? You know what I mean? Like, what is Valence doing?
This is an outrageous play. Is he just
going
sitting in
for
the
it?
smoke?
He's done. Oh, the Molotov takes him though. Information revealed. Panda takes him down as the AK spray doesn't quite connect on Ace of Losers. It's a kill to go away to CT's side, and the timing favors him again for another. He's trapped though. But the bomb is not in possession of the T side. Kansas State, they're working with timings here, and they're not going to be aware of them.
And Rhea's got so much info as well, playing Overwatch. A very interesting spot considering Mild's position. Mild isn't going to swing this. He's not going to have any idea. They've been quiet. 2v3 ensuing is Rhea looking to rotate in. Yogi on the A site playing with the AWP. And the bomb only now going to get recovered. This is utter chaos. Absolute madness.
I've never seen overpass like this. This is outrageous. Like, on all fronts, the weird like positioning, the gunfights we're seeing, the timings and all of these angles. It's like, I'm not sure how the players are at all like aware of what the heck is going on, because I would be lost.
I feel like Kansas State, and this is no disrespect to Northeastern, but I think that Kansas State are maybe feeling a little bit of that right now. We saw how, given that context, we've seen how tentative Kansas State have been a couple of times. Oh!
Bomb's been dropped though. He's not winning this.
No, he's just or maybe he just now noticed, but itching for frags maybe. But either way, what the point I was making though, Birdie, is that I feel like Kansas State have been pretty tentative and unwilling to aggress in traditionally good timings to aggress. Like they get a pick and they aren't willing to move forward, or they're looking to find you know, an opening, and they aren't throwing those traditional set pieces. Like it feels like Kansas State maybe are feeling some of those oddities, but well, maybe they can get over those if they get involved over at the Army ROTC. Can become a leader for life with the ROTC. Check them out.
And important note, you mentioned that they're not really using like traditional like fights. One we see a lot in the current meta of Repass is to take a rifle, like get into water at the start of the round, right? And then start to shift your way with a rifler or an opera up towards short, and just try to find someone transitioning between angles. That's very common. I don't think we've really been seeing Kansas State doing that.
Never. No, they really haven't. And here's the most traditional thing we've seen, that fast B push, and they're going to go back to it here and now.
That's good. All they need is a flashbang, Vincent, to keep Ray off this angle, and they've got the sight.
Yeah, what an outrageous time to go for a 3-man bomb stack.
Oh, committing to that is scary.
How is he alive?
That's the Tech 9 right there. But that's bomb side open. Kansas State, not only that, but they've got good post-plant positions. Northeastern, what they've got going for them is the utility. They're on the flank, but they'll need the kills out of the bomb site to make this work.
Oh, but this flank might not be as effective. Now the setup in water is pretty solid. Rhea tagging down as well.
Timing.
There's that shot. Massive kills. Everyone taking the victories. Northeastern, they have come alive here. 7 rounds now on the CT side.
Look at the utility. They didn't use anything to get into the bomb site. That was all just rifles.
Yeah, all aim duels, and it worked. Is the crazy part. I think the Northeastern have definitely stepped up. They have they found some additional fuel to fire them up.
And they found some comfort in the process, because if you take a look at their money, they've got at least another gun round left in them. And Kansas State, they've got the op back in the hands of Panda, and he's been flashy with it so far, but it's the 3-man push towards long again. Northeastern could be walking right into this, but no, Yogi. Excellent flick. Take R1 out of the situation immediately. You fall back, you give Kansas State nothing.
Yeah, I like the immediate fallback there. This is a bit more traditional from Northeastern. That 3-man setup is something you do see pretty often. In Kansas State, you know, we kind of thought they were set up for it. They were not.
This is a slow pace now for both teams. Kansas State is weary of making another mistake. And I think they understand how much of this game could potentially pivot off the back of this round. And Northeastern, just in kind, they're ready and waiting for Kansas State to approach the bomb sites, and that could be what bites them in the back later on. It really depends on what opening duel happens here, because it's going to be the most important frag probably.
They need a flashbang to get Panda into this angle. I don't know if they're going to actually throw one though.
It surely doesn't go for this dry. I mean, it could be worth it, but he's held this angle in the past.
They're going to throw the execute, and then they're going to throw the flashes. This might be a ruse, actually, and it will be. They're going to fall off of it, but...
They're going to know. Surely they know. Akai's already in water. He's ready. His teammates right behind him, too. Panda finds the first frag, but it's spotted as Akai with the A4 plenty of bullets to work with, but no connection for the second kill. It's an open bomb site, at least for now, as Rhea... Has he managed to drop down? Oh, no, he's holding it. Okay, I thought he smoked, but no. They want us to close it out. Northeastern... up to an 8th. Kansas State are lost. I mean, they won the pistol. Did they win the follow-up in the 3rd round as well? What was the 3rd round that they won?
It was that B rush.
Right.
That B execute.
Have they won a gun round then?
That B rush. That B execute. That was a gun round.
That was a gun round? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But that was it. Rhea 13-4 right now. Really stepping up for the team. I talked about the individual duels being very much the Kansas State count.
No,
that's not been the case. Not been the case this map.
Definitely delivered those extra percentages that they needed to deliver them rounds. And Northeastern, I love that they're more than willing to go for these fights, despite the fact that they know Kansas State is ready and waiting for them.
Okay. Vicious wild. And Ansa,
I thought he had the kill through the wall.
I thought so too. It looked like it. R1, the only one to bring something back to this round for the T side. Kansas State are falling apart, and R1 desperately trying to return the favor.
Something with the door closing there is just so comedic to me. Alright, we're done with that. Moving on.
Well, trying to shut the door on what's been an abysmal round, but the metaphor doesn't continue as Panda, well, the door is shut on their life.
What do you do? And this is time to think for the entire Kansas State side. You could arguably use this next 35 seconds as a pause, because it might even be worth it to save this gun. I mean, they're a full loss bonus. Maybe not, but I feel like there's so much going wrong. Kansas State's sense of direction, they're not getting the openings. And when they're walking towards the bomb sites, Northeastern seem more than happy to go for the retakes. They've been successful on it. And across all fronts, Kansas State just seemed to be faltering. Arguably enough, I'd say the same reasons that Northeastern lost out on Mirage, Kansas State are losing now on Overpass.
Yeah, which is really crazy considering how aggressive and how dominant Kansas State was on Mirage. There was a lot of fundamental errors, I guess is the point I'm trying to make, on Mirage for Northeastern. And when it wasn't those, it was often some individual chicanery for Kansas State. You know, R1, Panda, we saw.
Look at the money. That's an outrageous amount of money for a CT side on Overpass. CT side Overpass is usually a very dangerous side to play. I would say it's one of the most dangerous CT sides in the game, because especially towards the A side of the map, you have to gamble a lot. Often you have to juggle the fountain angles, you know, party, connector, long. You only have 2 players to do all of that with, and so if there's, you know, 4 on the other side ready and waiting to fight you, eventually you have to make concessions. That's an excellent shot. I thought it was Buttermilk, but no, R1 picks him off in even better fashion. It's a quick response out towards the B bomb side. This is heads up from Kansas State, and they don't find anything on the northeastern side exactly. Flank's been activated, but this, wait, they're going through heaven along with the bomb. Yogi's not ready.
Yogi has no idea whatsoever. Not sure how he does it. They made so much noise. Now he's gonna know. How is Yogi allowed to find a kill fix?
Confusion for sure. Buttermilk, he's put it. This is a situation you can't expect him to win, but he's going to do his best regardless. Needs 3 fully equipped counter-terrors to find 60 HP to make the difference.
He's so loud here. Yeah, that. I think Buttermilk clearly feeling the pressure in that scenario.
I think for sure. I think part of him, I think his intentions there were to try to force the 1v1 onto that CT opera, and when he couldn't quite find the angle to Yogi, he was trying to reposition before the rest of the CT rotations came through, because you don't want to be hanging around there towards truck.
Well, and he did not realize that there was 2 players coming in from sort of his flank as fast as it
couldn't have, realistically.
No, that was very swift. Great work from Northeastern. The timing on that flank was beautiful, and I think we are at a point where I can't not mention it anymore. Mild, 1 in 10 right now.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Kansas State,
especially
or if you're Mild.
For a guy who was dominating on the last map as well, who was farming. I mean, he was literally at the farm.
I think going for their just aggressive play somewhat worked. They got the first kill trades to allow the avenue towards the bomb side, but Yogi's been quick on the rotate from heaven and not connecting that next shot. He might just opt for the retake in this situation, but the bomb, it's down towards B. Look, Mild, this is the impact that we've been missing from him. He's found an empty B bomb site.
Yes, he has, and he's holding off the rotations just for good measure. Now the bomb's finally coming in, and, well, Northeastern are just now getting the inkling that, hey, something's not gone right. The site that we thought we had is fully emptied out. Now Mild has a smoke.
He's not going to be able to use it. They would reveal his position.
Yeah, it would, exactly. That's what I was about to get to. He's going to take the shot. I like that decision. Needs this one, and it's critical. He's tripled up on the frag department, and Yogi has traded him, but R1 here for the clutch. He's just going to hold it. Yogi's not even worried.
Oh, okay. He had a kit, right? I'm pretty sure. So that was close, for sure.
He did.
I think we were subs 1 second there on the defuse. Kansas State, though, that right as we mentioned, Mild, not having impact, boom, delivers around into the hands of Kansas State. It is only a 4th, but you do take those.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, you and I think a little bit differential on what we feel is required on overpass, but I think you said at one point 10-5, you know, that's sort of okay on the T side.
It can be, especially with Kansas State, how comfortable they seem to on the CT side of Mirage. That can translate into overpass, but it really revolves around your A players, in my opinion.
Ooh, quick duck back around the corner there from look good, but the shots from Ace of Losers are just a little bit better. Panda wants more. Wants more of this.
Okay, there's so many things happening at once. 3 angles the Panda's caught between. Somehow doesn't die into 2 of them. Kansas State forced it into a 1v1 situation. Yogi, he hasn't fired a single bullet with this AWP. They have no idea where he is. This timing to his connector's huge, and the Deagle spam will connect. And 11-4 half Vincent, an exact repeat of the last game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right, which is crazy because it's the opposite direction, and it's supposed to be Kansas State's pick too. That's what's so magnificent about the way that Northeastern have been able to pull this off. But I think that there's a couple of other things that we need to talk about. Yogi in particular, what a resurgence from this player. Ace of Losers was the only one showing up for Northeastern on Mirage. He's now joined by Rhea as well. He was 13-4 at one point. Really helped push Northeastern up to like that 8-3 sort of scenario.
This is loud. Kansas State, they picked the right bomb site. There's so many angles here that need to be cleared. And Northeastern, they're just not going to be ready for it. Rhea's the last one standing. There's still 2 players to find just on this bomb side alone. But the Glock, this is the right range. Catching off the CT, reloading, Mild. Getting away with this. Both players here having an awkward situation, but he's going to be the one to close the deal. 3 kills. How many kills did he have last half?
3. Unless he got a trade in that scenario over in the last round. Either way, he got a triple, so he ended with 4.
Okay, yeah. Almost doubling his kills in the first round of the second half, but
that's a good tone setter.
That's what I was leading into. Listen, if you've been lacking confidence, that's gonna be something to boost it.
Yeah, kills with the USPS, they are rarely anything better to build confidence, if we're being honest.
I said in the I think the transition between map 1 and 2 that if you lose the pistol, your alternative is to rush B, but that's not entirely true. This is also a very common strategy, is to just work your way up long, and unfortunately they've been caught. Yeah, they've been caught off guard, which is a really unfortunate thing. The rotations are already in. At Northeastern, I don't imagine a world.
He's farming.
There's no way they get more than this. Panda, okay, that's confidence beaming from the Panda.
Yeah, 4 kills. Had 17 before this. Cracks the 20 for the 21st. Northeastern at 11, sure, but Kansas State, they stepped up at least those first few rounds. But remember, this is a mirror image of what we saw in the last half. Kansas State, they won the pistol. They won the anti-eco. In fact, they won it, and it looked good.
And there's a double-edged sword here. So pay attention to the fact that Northeastern don't have a lot of utility right now. Kansas State, they're carrying over from that last round with SMGs. And so kind of the natural consequences of that is Kansas State going aggressive as we're currently seeing. And Northeastern can sit back and just wait for aggression. If they do indeed, Rhea to find 1 kill as Ace of Losers is able to trade out his death, but there's still 1 place to the flank. Panda, wait, House has gone and checked. The bomb is right there. Akai able to trade. I need to see their POVs. There's no other way I can explain that.
Flabbergasted and they don't quite know that had a chance, but cannot quite connect the shot, and a little bit of extracurriculars there too from Northeastern, showing the meaning of that round for them. Look at the money. The money. This is brutal. Kansas State don't have really enough to go for a full invest here. They might try. They will keep it just to the Eagles.
It is so jarring to look at the kill deaths of the Kansas State side. You've got like 22 kills, 18 kills, and then everyone else had like 7.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
It's certainly been a one-horse race when it comes to Kansas State. And the only guy stepping up for the team.
Small bits of damage being placed on towards the T side here. Listen, at this point, with 77 HP or below,
Trying it again.
but a crucial missed shot means he's gone. Vincent, how does this keep happening?
That's too bad. And it was more like crucial missed 3 shots if we're being really fair about it, but
Only the first matters.
well,
With the
he had
deal, I would
chance.
say.
He had chance. 3.
3.
Didn't quite get it, but Buttermilk, he has it. He's doing all right. Nice shot. I love this angle. It's so hard to get.
It's never clear when you're coming up from short as a terrorist. You're always more focused on heaven or graffiti or pit, and that's why this is a good angle. Otherwise, like, it's actually awful. You're trapped. Like, if a Molotov comes up behind you, you're dead. You're dead the moment you find one. But Northeastern, they're shifting up towards the state side, and they'll find themselves contesting with 2 players of Kansas State. Mild connects for a 1D traded out. As the smoke denies entry to the bomb site for the CT rotations. It's 20 seconds left. I imagine the bomb will come down shortly, but okay, ambitious. As R1 is punished, and Buttermilk is left in 1v3.
It feels like Kansas State have forgotten how to use their shift keys.
What's that? What is that?
Yeah, it feels like it. Maybe that's a little bit toxic, but there's just so many situations where I personally have felt like, yeah, that would have been a great play if that was just a little quieter, if it wasn't, elephant feet stomping around right beforehand or some such.
Yeah.
Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely have seen a few of those situations.
Yeah, because I mean, especially when you're walking through a smoke like that, it's like, listen, it's all well and good, but if they know you're about to do it, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially if you don't have a flash to you know,
Right, yeah. Because
create
you can make the noise and let like bait them into holding the angle so the flashbang blinds them, and then you can set yourself up for plays like that, but they didn't.
Right, exactly. So Northeastern, 13 rounds. This is I'd call this a must-win for Kansas State. Actually, this gun round is huge. Buttermilk and Mild, the only two with a kit on the hands.
It's a brush. Dude, the fact that these kills are already coming through, the smokes, they're just stuck in this Northeastern. They'll manage to wrap their way around it. But it's... I killed through the smoke. That's a huge one. The follow-up as well into R1. He's been a massively impactful player.
Mild and Panda.
This is a save, surely. You can't go for this.
Well, honestly, I think they feel like they have to. And particularly with now Panda being the only one to survive, I don't think it really matters whether or not they get away with the save or not. Collects the smoke. Might be able to do something a little bit more with that. Clearing out the angles. It's just too many angles to clear and not enough time to do it. 14-6, and Nuke feels like it is definitely going to be on the cards.
And I'll be honest, and while I would never say that Kansas State would do something like this, if I'm one of the Kansas State players right now, I'm probably refocusing to Duke. This is, there's so much missing here from the Kansas State side that working your way back and towards this game in a best-of-3 situation and going to a next map, it's too draining. Refocusing and moving on is, honestly, even mentally, would just be the better play. But, of course, we do have to finish out this game. Kansas State, they're going to give it everything they got, but that's just what I would probably do.
Yeah, I think you know, the in-game leader of Kansas State probably going to be fighting against those thought processes, especially considering that they're giving up this round. I mean, giving up may be a strong word, considering they do have a couple of deagles and 5.7s on a few players.
Gank here. The rotation's coming through. Kansas State, this is looking forward to pushing around. The pistols are in close range.
Guy running out of ammo.
They've noticed.
Bandit going to take advantage of it. Lots of damage done to 3 players. No frags. Panda tapped away. Still equal. 3-on-3.
Mild though. One step. He's ready to take a fight, but that was 1D. But Yoki's just continuing to shine. Combined 53 HP on the T side. Ansa has to deliver with the 5.7. This is a possible situation. This is a gun which can deliver in these circumstances. As the bomb goes down, he drops. He's found himself a timing. The terrorists are split between 2 angles.
Needs to find this out here and now. Oh, and he just paints a beautiful picture around his head. Yogi dodges out, and 15 is Northeastern's. A brutal miss, and that's where the nerves really hit you.
Yeah.
That feels. I've been there. Like, and obviously we're not quite, you know, at LAN finals yet, but like playing on LAN, that's the sort of nerves where you just miss shots like that, and that's playoffs.
I can definitely see what you mean there, and Kansas State, I mean, morally, you have to just be broken. Like, knowing you're coming into your map pick, listen, you can brush off the first half and say, like, listen, we're heading into our CT side, we got this, we practiced this map, and then just to end up at 15-6 here is, there's no other word other than devastating, and Kansas State, rely on Panda here with the op, but no, he doesn't even pop up a shot, he's gone.
To lose out on your best player who's been performing all map long, the opening pick goes against him. That mental that you were talking about even further brushed away. Mild. Time to step up. It's here, and he's got the shot. And he wants another nice pre-fire for Mild, and he's been anything but, at least in this round.
Look at the movements from the T side. They lose those 2 players towards A, and they start to look elsewhere. As I mean, naturally they should, but this open door towards B, that's a nice awareness play from the T side there to clear out that angle before Yogi makes the play. 3 players shifting their way in. It's Buttermilk. He's positioning his way around the bomb side. A missed shot means Akai goes down. All of a sudden, the bomb, it's going to be difficult to get this down.
Well, okay. Maybe not so difficult for some reason. Okay. Taking the duel, it was entirely separated duels that could have happened there. So opportunities for Valens, but misses out. And, well, all they have right now is the love. Buttermilk putting down the heart. Trying to find something. Kansas State at least stop the bleeding.
What's tragic is I was looking at the economy for Northeastern and I was like, wait, Akai's low, Ray is low, this might be safe. And then I looked at Yogi and immediately I fell apart.
He just got
10 grand coming into this round.
Kansas State, though, with 3 players surviving, you know, their money's not bad. For once, the CG side doing pretty well for themselves.
But opening duels.
That's tough.
The opening duels indeed, and that's so triggered. Like, you must be so triggered after something like that. It's like you come into the round, you're like, all right, we just won a round, we got this, guys. Dead, just straight through the wall, no chance.
Yeah, no way to shoot back, no way to win. Chance blind, only for a moment, but it's enough time. Mild, ooh, it's done. He's able to find that frag. R1 on the site.
I like this plant.
R1 knows that it's not going to be planted there. Has called that information out. It's a 3-on-4. Kansas State still technically winnable. His Panda has thinned the herd. Made this a little bit more reasonable. As R1 knows that there's one playing around pillar. There's that key frag. R1 knows where both of these players are at, but trying to get the kills in the time required is just too difficult. Takes all 3 bullets, hits all of them, but it's through boxes. And there's just no kit.
Time. It's over. Even the hunt Braves of losers here means that he have to go for the take on to Ray, and it's game over. Northeastern, they take us to nuke.
16-7 for Northeastern. They have they've been entirely one-sided. It's either been Northeastern win or Northeastern lose by 2 all season long. And here's the time where they pick up the pace, step up in the massive ways, and push themselves to a 3rd map. Birdie, this is a much more competitive series than you and I had anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, we came into Overpass talking about how, listen, this is the map that Northeastern play, but I don't think any of us were expecting a scoreline remotely close to that.
No, I don't think that I don't think there's any way we could, just considering where we were. But you know what I am anticipating? I'm anticipating
Apex.
some fantastic skins on Apex. That's exactly right. Level up now with Monster Energy and Apex Legends. Every single tab that gets claimed allows you to unlock exclusive Apex Legends in-game content. Gives you the chance to win the grand prize as well. Scan the QR code to sign up right now and claim your skins, battle passes, and so much more. Definitely get involved and check them out. Get yourself some Monster Energy. We appreciate their support as per always. But we're going to be supporting a quick break as we head there. Don't go too far. We'll be back. A surprise to be here, but a pleasant one at that. We are into a third map in this first series of the day. Northeastern, they came away with a victory, and one that I don't think you and I had anticipated. 16-7 was their win over on Overpass, and Nuke is coming up next. Vertibox, just tell me what your thoughts are on this series.
My thoughts are in shambles. Kansas State, by all rights, should have been able to pull through, in my opinion, Overpass, but they were just, I think they were stunned. I don't think they were expecting the level of pace that Northeastern brought, and I think very quickly the mental fell to the point where they couldn't really come back from it. And I think that'll reset coming into Nuke, but now I have growing concerns that we could see a repeat. There's nothing showing me that Nuke could be any different. I totally could see Northeastern pulling off the same thing here.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, right? We know that Northeastern had a little bit more experience on Overpass, though. I think that does tend to push me in the direction to say if Kansas State have been able to reset their mental a little bit, and maybe not just their mental, but just reset their entire game plan, because I feel like the game plan kind of went off the rails when Northeastern started to play so well. Mm-hmm. They could reset the game plan into this map, then maybe things could be different as well. But certainly it was very surprising.
Yeah, and Nuke tends to be a map where I mean, listen, it's going to be a night for sides, right? So we don't really know where other team's going to be, but if we see Kansas State starting on the T side and we see them like really down again, that mental game could come back to bite them again, especially considering how they lost the last map.
That's a great point, actually. I wasn't even thinking about that. We do know that Northeastern, in the times they have played Nuke, we were talking about in the green room between maps, that they've been very good on their CT side. Now, granted, that's an incredibly small, sample size. We only saw one map from them on Nuke, but they dominated on their CT side. But if we're going to continue our norm of extrapolating the entirety from very small sample sizes, I think this makes sense.
It does, and no knife round here that we're seeing, at least. Kansas State now starting the CT side. That's
must have happened already.
Yeah, positive for them.
Definitely, both for the mental game and also with the consideration of what we've seen before. Here's a fast take towards A. Ace of Losers out swiftly, and I like the decision from Kansas State to just fall back a little bit, wait for a retake setup. No kit.
These are hard shots to take. Ace of Losers caught off angle. His teammates not able to trade. The scoreboard's all blue right now. Northeastern stuck in towards the lobbies. The bomb looks to be tapped. Ray up, gone as well. Wow. It's a flawless round from Kansas State. This is more of what we were expecting.
I mean, I'm literally blown away. Kansas State, they made that look so simple, so pedestrian. You said it was hard. Yeah, it was hard to retake, and this is, I mean, I don't disagree. It's hard to retake that site, particularly without any utility. And they didn't have a kit on their backs either. They just slowly, methodically walked in.
A little Friday night stroll in towards the A-bomb site after the bomb's been planted.
Yeah, a little casual bomb defusal in the park. at the nuclear bomb site.
Exactly. Oh, okay. That's gonna scare him away.
Yeah, certainly terrified me. They're back to this 4 spot. We saw this on Mirage. Did not see it over on Overpass.
There's so many angles here that these teams are taking right now, and no one's really coming to the top. Yogi's got the kill. Okay, there it is. All of a sudden, Northeast has got the advantage. And Kansas State, this second round buy starting to collapse for them. That's the impact that the bomb plant makes in Counter-Strike. You're still able to invest back into it, arguably with better weapons than the CT side. And on a map like Nuke, having the main advantage in gunfights can make the difference. Mild now, equalizing it 3v3. Northeastern, given time to reconsider where they want to go.
Well, their reconsideration has really only resulted in degradation of their man advantage. They had a 5-on-3, and now they have a 3-on-3. Of course, there's a little bit more to it than that. Here comes the push. Okay. Ansa had no idea. Yogi takes down R1. That was the M4.
And unfortunately, a situation like this, you just save. I mean, listen, MP9 is a great gun, but up against 3 players in a bomb site you have no information on, when outside control is obtained by the T side as well, you'd be hoping for a miracle to come back into this round. This isn't a gun that's too bad on nuke. I mean, there's a lot of close range duels, especially in the A-bomb side over towards ramp. The only place you couldn't really put this is outside.
I think he wants to get the M4 here. Unfortunately, Yogi, you're going to play spoiler to that. And Northeastern, for as good as Kansas State looked in the pistol, they made some big mistakes in the second round. I think that's to be clear. They kept taking those gunfights and kind of extrapolate a little bit further on what you were saying about that. The outside gunfights, they can be very advantageous for the CTs. And Kansas State were deciding to engage individually.
Coming around for too long, too. Oh, Panda's got the kill. It's an AK recovered towards lobby. Balance isolated. Finally got some support. I think the situation diffused despite the damage being done to the Northeastern side. But, I mean, I'll continue the train of thought I had. The outside gunfights are... they're really safe for rifles to take on the CT side. It's very difficult to trade as a T because there's a lot of kind of pixel angles where you can fall back, especially if you're facing an opper. But gunfights elsewhere are very difficult to take as a terrorist because you know if you walk out their door, there's 4 angles immediately you need to clear. Same thing for ramp. I mean, you can clear them one by one, but you can be swung by the, it's too methodical. And Northeastern, I mean, it has been so far.
This is a clean eco round for Kansas State. They forced into the last. And
surprised he didn't get that second, to be honest.
Yeah, it kind of felt like he should have, but nonetheless, here's the push. It's down towards Secret, in towards B. AK recovered. Panda's going to try to find a nice quiet spot to save that to the next round, I would imagine. Meanwhile, Easy Losers finds the mild entry into the site. It's a freebie with the bomb getting planted, numbers punched.
They're going to have to hold on to that AK. It's R1, I think that's going to really need that heading into the next round. It might even just to motivate a full gun round with the loss bonus that they'll be getting for this. But I imagine Ansa and Buttermilk, they'll hang around to grab some exit kills if they can. But Yogi's going to make sure the Buttermilk's shut down on that end. And
I didn't realize Yogi had bought an op into this round.
Neither did I.
That's very impressive.
I mean, they've been really aggressive. He's been glass cannoning into the third round every single map, every single half.
I mean,
actually.
That's true. That's true. That's fair enough. But against a pistol round, I feel like
that's Yogi.
Even more so. Kansas State, they started this series without giving Northeastern the respect. And I think slowly and surely, it is now Northeastern who is showing the lack of respect for Kansas State, which I think is brilliant. It's an impressive evolution and one we don't see often.
Yeah, the upside for Kansas State coming into this is they were going to start on the easier half, but if they end up having a rough time of it, that actually could be worse for the mental than if they just lost out on the T side. This is looking dangerous, but we're on this first gun round. It's going to be a ramp hit. I think Mild did spot it out, but I don't think that's going to stop the C side.
Oh, thanks to Team Flash, everyone. That's tragic. Mild's going to get 2 for free, so R1 comes around the corner. Is end up in Northeastern's disfavor. Yogi now left in the 1-on-3, recovering the bomb.
Yeah, and that's the round immediately gone. It has to be said that the decision to go for a ramp push off a spawn like that, I don't understand where that's coming from the Northeastern side. You haven't seen a Kansas State full gun round yet. There's no information there to go off of.
I could... Let me take a stab at it.
Okay.
So, I see what you're saying, and I think that's valid, but at the same time, the mindset from Northeastern could have been that they haven't really pushed ramp at all. And let's just try to change the pace, do something a little bit different, a little bit weird. And of course, it didn't work out, but you know, you can give the props for trying it.
Yeah.
And I think if it had come away differently, if they had found the opening pick there, we would have been talking about that being brilliant.
Oh, I definitely agree, but Unfortunately, we live in a world where walking through that smoke does cost you 2-3 players, and then loses you the round as a result. Kansas State. Losing Panda early on, he set himself up for collateral, unfortunately just didn't pull the trigger fast enough. Now, ready to drop towards Mini. R1 found himself a kill. Buttermilk ready to double up. Ace of Losers has to try to recover this situation. Confused, hit on the T side as Ace of Losers unlocks the A side. The rotation's coming from Mom. Lance is ready to come up as well. It's a 1v1. Yogi activates hectic situation as the bomb goes down. Northeastern, they come out on top.
Very back and forth, sure. And bad news for Kansas State. They pick up a massive win in the first gun round, only to lose the next round instantaneously. That is a recipe for tragedy on the CT side.
I wonder, because Kansas State, they've done a lot of gamble setups on these kind of Deagle rounds. We saw them stacked with bathrooms a lot. This time it'll be towards the safe side, but Ace of Losers is not going to respect that, and neither is the rest of this Northeastern offensive. But it's a 3v3 somehow. Panda's continuing to have impact with the Deagle. Okay, now we're entering the danger zone.
One Panda and Hansa coming in from multiple different angles. Yogi 1-on-3. He's going to have to do some magical work right now. EWP, and Panda just swings wide. Panda took the team on their back on overpass, and it seems that that will not stop here. Panda saying, "Come on, guys, we need to get this going."
Let me ask you a question, Vincent.
Let's hear it.
Let's see how, based off of what you just said, if we can construct an answer. Is there a single most impactful player of Kansas State in the series so far?
I mean, I think it's unquestionably Panda, actually.
Yeah, that set me up perfectly for that. Thank you. Case in point. That's really what I was trying to get at there. Because I mean, he's been doing so well, and I mean, coming into Nuke, the fact that he's still going strong is good signs for Kansas State. But to be honest, the fact that Northeastern have 4 rounds already, I think they should be more than happy.
Well, I think you'd like a little bit more here.
You'd like more, but we're at early stages still.
Yeah, we are. Definitely a lot more time to find that success. Pretty patient round from Northeastern, all things considered.
Missed shots. But I think information, that's not a rifle that Panda's fighting. That's why he feels confident going for it.
Panda definitely doesn't have 5 bullets in this op. that is a visual glitch.
He's using something else. Well, you know what it is, Vincent? He went back to the old update. He took like one of the ops and just brought it into new.
Well, we're gonna take a long walk off the short pier here. Okay. Maybe not so much. Kai, that's a double entry. He's been, I think he just had a single kill prior to that round. And now,
he drops
I
his
don't
gun.
know how he gets out there, but he does.
He dropped his gun. He turned the corner, and right as he dropped his gun, he's just on his screen, but he can't pull the trigger until he picks it up.
Dang.
It cost him his
rough.
life. I mean, the ops recovered. That's really the more important factor there. But that's an extra rifle gone for the CT side. That's going to keep their economy within arm's reach. It might not matter. It's Northeastern's back to an eco round.
This has been a long time coming, though.
It has.
I mean, no, I don't think Northeastern have eco, actually. Straight through the molly. Akai is a madman. Yeah, that is the bomb down. R1's gonna love cleaning those up. Mild. Give me the meats.
Second ramp rush that we see.
And exactly the same outcome.
Yeah. I wonder if that's going to stray them from doing that later on. I would hope so. I hope we find more interesting Counter-Strike than ramp rushes here on Nuke, because there's so much to be offered here. Have we seen a single like proper execute? Yeah.
No,
we've seen rushes that onto the A side and split, not like an execute.
More slow rounds too. Okay, well, didn't work out last time. This time a bit better. He wants another. That was ambitious to say the least.
Flash.
Well, he had one. It was a team flash.
Oh. That'll do it.
This sure was, yeah. R1, unfortunately, threw the flash, and he gets the credit for the flash assist, but it's a nice shot on the site. What an adjustment from Rhea.
This this ramp player is going to be pivotal because preventing this terrorists from getting too comfortable in the bomb site is going to make sure that you can come in from other angles. Buttermilk's still got a smoke to isolate one of the angles. Okay, I thought he was using a smoke there. No, just a flash. Time continuing to tick. Hits on all three players. Zanza finds one. A smoke that's well placed. Akai not going to have a clue what's going on after that. And Maria dropping in the back of the bomb site means it's a 1v3 and the bomb plays. Oh, okay, finding two. Setting himself up for the third. Akai with the AK-47 puts Northeastern up to 5th, and that's absolutely magical.
Are you kidding me? Northeastern, we haven't necessarily seen or been required the big clutch factor from Northeastern. That's definitely something that Kansas State has held in their favor overall. And this round pivotal. Northeastern and Akai. Oh my goodness. The 1v3 clutch. UMP out for Valens. We'll be seeing that a little later from Nitsua on the Kennesaw State roster. First time we're seeing it out, though, from Northeastern.
What is happening? Oh.
I mean, they're setting out for a wall of smokes, I believe.
Little team talk, huddle, I think.
Oh, okay. They do know that you can just talk in Discord, right?
No, they proximity chat on this.
Oh, okay. They're playing the modded. Oh, Panda, that's rough timing, my friend.
I wonder if either player saw. Okay, definitely noticed now. He's gonna be holding that angle till the end of time. Oh no, I guess not. Okay.
They just didn't know. There we go.
And the trade is swift.
I'll keep it a buck. Panda's fantastic, but they're having a rough case of repeat-itis.
I can't believe he didn't just hold that. To be honest.
I mean, he must not have seen him. It must have just been.
I think he was just worried about someone coming across the side, or maybe from Marshmallow, or I think it was just he didn't have a teammate holding kind of the corresponding angles, and so he wanted to make sure he was safe after potentially being spotted as well. I don't know. He set up on the safe side. The M4 is good for one a hard spray to control, but everyone else will do their job. You know, I got my kill, Vincent.
Yeah. Well, if everybody gets their kill, that's called a win. Kansas State feeling that right now, 6-5. But dang, this is close. Northeastern have to be feeling good about the way this half's been going. You're sitting at 5 rounds, yes, but not only that, it's 6-5. It's not just that you've been able to clear out 5 rounds. Here's the vent drop, and well.
Did the ball make it? I did not.
No. Yeah, it don't look like it.
Wait.
Rhea
Okay.
has recovered it.
Gives you a good position, so Kansas State. That's nice adjustment. It's a nice read on the anti-eco to not only expect the vent drop, but to put a player down towards the B bomb site proactively to make sure that that bomb doesn't end up going down.
Actually, I think Mild was the ramp player, just very quick on the rotate, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, you're right. Great adjustments being made. Kansas State, 7-5. They finally got a couple of rounds in the lead. We'll see if they can hang on to it. It's been something it's been a little bit tough to hang on to. Mild, this is a ridiculous amount of aggression. It's a lobby pinch.
Oh, okay. Gunfight on the A site. Are unable to respond, but it's a lineup for the T side. Somehow, Makai is the last one left standing in a flurry of bullets.
1v3. Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
I think his gun might have blocked his vision there. That's atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah, the gun model definitely was at partial fault. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Kansas State, they've just confirmed a victory in the half. And now that's a small victory considering this is CT side nuke. And to be honest with you, 8, I mean, you feel like you should be getting that every day of the week. But
I think 9 is the bare minimum you should be working with. Anything more than that, and the pressure's on you.
Well, I think 8 you're...
What?
What?
Yogi, you can't keep doing this, my friend. Like, this is Counter-Strike.
I don't understand how he lines that up. I mean, that's such a hard... Like, there's just not a clear angle inside garage like that.
No.
There's so many little off angles, and you know, like you're often crouching, so it's not like... It's not like a lineup that you would typically find through a smoke.
do we know who died? So did Panda have?
Yeah,
what
Panda
did
had
he
an
have?
up.
An up? Okay, yeah. So that was just an actual shot through the smoke. Crazy.
Yeah,
I thought he
no,
might have
it
been
was.
tracing something, but no, it was Panda with the
No.
up. But the situation recovered though for sure. I mean, Yogi's Eagle will be the only kill of the round for Northeastern, and now up to that 9th that I mentioned for Kansas. They'll start to feel a little bit happier. 10-5 though is a lot more doable.
I don't want to cast or curse this.
Oh, do it, Vincent.
Remember we talked about Northeastern? They played Nuke before.
Ah, indeed.
Yeah. Well, you enlightened me. The score in that map was 10-5
Oh.
on their T side, and then they flawless the CT side.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's a good opening tool, and over the top of credit card as well. And so that's a triggered on the lobby crutch from the CT side, and well, it's only going to find one player that might just scare Northeastern into making moves elsewhere. They'll find themselves in the bottom of the map, but yeah, this is awkward. I feel like both teams are lacking some information. Alan's able to unleash himself as R1 finds another kill outside, but still yet to unleash Yogi. He's got the bomb.
Ansa has been critical. Nice double. Oh,
How
but
does he
Yogi.
keep getting these?
I mean, that one he caught the
Yeah,
timing. 1v2. Ansa could deny. No, not gonna happen. Onto the site. HP is low, and then the nade is gonna do some damage. Bit of chip. Oh, and great off angle by Yogi.
literally holding my breath there towards the end, but that is going to be that 6th round for Northeastern. And while they did slow down some pace towards the end, that's a half they'll take every day.
Yeah, and Yogi, he is apparently that guy, as he's 14 kills, stepping up, and can step up as well to help change kids' health, to change the future with Extra Life. One of our partners. Join the Super Team page today and check them out. Definitely want to support the awesome work that they do over at Extra Life.
Pissed around. Last one of the series, Kansas State walking out and towards an empty A bomb site. We're seeing a repeat of the first one.
Here we go. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kansas State, I mean, to be fair, they should know what to expect here. They just got done doing it, and already a better start for Tees this time. Panda and Mild. Mild on towards the flankers. And Panda more into the... Wow. What a brilliant shot that was. And it is a mirror image. Only a mirror image for Kansas State, as they get a flawless pistol for the second time this map.
And the big difference there is the fact that they got those first kills. What allowed Northeastern to get back into the retake on their pistol round was the fact that the Kansas State players were they were exposed, you know. Or sorry, it was the other way around. The Northeastern players were exposed on their T side. That's what allowed Kansas State to do it then, and they do it again.
No force by this time. Ooh, a little bit of a rough spray there. Panda is going to help Ansa out. Fallon's last alive. Close by. No. I got baited.
I respect the gamble to go for the outside pick, though.
I do too. I think this is fine. Nothing found out of off the back of it, though, unfortunately.
He doesn't have a helmet, Balance. He without the Kevlar and helmet, honestly, getting the hard cat is a better substitute than nothing.
Oh, man. We've got a
Bomb has been planted.
an eco Kevlar buyer.
Oh, surely. Alright.
I don't think
There
you
it
saw
is.
him, no.
Mild up. Galil will find that last kill. Kansas State, the first 2 rounds of the half, but Northeastern is. Oh, what am I seeing? Cover
No.
my eyes.
Don't even. I don't want to hear it. I'm a big fan of this gun.
Oh yeah, where it depends where he puts it. To be honest,
I'm a big fan of this gun on this map. Period.
understood.
Well,
Let's
I
see
mean,
if justified.
like, okay, see, this is a great spot.
I feel like you could have pointed to any part of the map and you would have said that. Like switch to Yogi right here, a great spot.
You know, you may or may not have me here, but that's beyond the point. Because if Yogi had an auto shotgun there, he would have won.
You know, you've swayed me. I'm 100% in agreement, but
All I'm saying is you can't prove otherwise.
I disagree and I refuse to elaborate. Northeastern, the 4v4 situation, unfortunately, this definitely favors the T side. You can move up here and have big targets. Sansa's lurked his way in, but
Where do these bullets go?
Kai is just holding. I think he was just ADing slightly, but Miles able to work his way out. A lurk kill after the fact, but he finds a straight balance now. Ready to activate with the auto shotgun. He was found. Oh boy! Miles down and ready to hunt for more. I was holding my breath that I do was find that second kill. Ace of Loser swings back through. Miles continues to be activated. That auto shotgun only good for one, Vincent.
It was, but to be honest with you, I actually think that's a really good example of why it's so good on this map. The range with which you can find high damage, particularly in those situations, is incredible. And the problem that Valance ran into is more about the fact that he just didn't get engaged earlier. If he had done so, I think it would have been a little bit more effective. Oh, he's gotten aggressive with it this time. It's hard to deal with. You need a headshot if you're Ansa.
Ansa pushed that close angle earlier. This is a balance. Oh, and he's got the kill. Good. Potentially rifle to be recovered. He wants it, and a push towards the door means lobby control will be conceded by Kansas State. Okay, a push outside punish from Yogi as well. But this should be a lead down towards the B-bomb site. Kansas State don't really have an alternative.
They don't, but this is, I mean, with the exception of inside this one area that they are absolutely pushing, being the vent, they have the advantage, but I guess the vent wasn't so bad for them either. Kansas State taking all the frags, and Northeastern getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine back on Overpass.
This exactly. This is the part where you should be concerned. Heading into Overpass, I mean, Kansas State, they're probably. I mean, I talked about it before. They're probably having that conversation of, oh yeah, this is the CT side. It's favored. Everything will be fine. All of a sudden, Northeastern are facing 13-6 straight in the face on a map where here they should be just pulling through on. But Miles continues to deliver for more. Triple with the AK to blow that ace bomb site wide open. Yogi, he's being hunted and he just doesn't know it.
He might have an inkling, an awareness, but Mild, he's too good. He's at the shot and the quad kill, and I mean, I hate to be the scoreboard Sally here, but you know, there is a big difference between last map and this map. And,
yes, very clearly.
Yeah, and it's not just not just in the scoreline. It's very much in the fact that the Pain is not the only one showing up. R1 and Mild, they're back. They're in form.
I'm still going with the theory that between maps 1 and 2, they went into a food coma, and now they're back. They've woken up, Vincent.
They ate dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, regardless of what happened, R1 once more, and he's going. What? He's That's outrageous. That's just so outrageous.
It seems so impromptu too. I wonder if he heard a footstep. Like, did he not know his teammate was pathing with him?
I mean, he heard the footstep. He just reacted.
I'm at a loss for words. Zakai, Northeastern at this point. You're just relying on one round to get back into this, but they just never have the weaponry to do so. It's map series point Kansas State.
And so you're not supposed to shoot your teammates, just for the record.
They're doing a little bit of trolling, I have a feeling.
Which they have no business doing, by the way.
No, they could still...
A team that got rolled 16-7 on Overpass gets no trolling privileges.
Revoked.
Exactly right. What is this?
It's denied the Molotov in the doorway, I'm pretty sure, and it allows them to walk out towards the A bomb site, and honestly, it's empty. This was a gamble for Northeastern. They were expecting to find contact. It was intended to land. It's just killed as a result. An exploit from Northeastern, but it's a 3v3 and the bomb's ticking away. Alex needs to go huge here, and he finds the first. He's got his kill. Let the time simmer as Yogi picks up another buttermilk. He's caught between the vehicles. He's looking for a fight. Ray is able to close up shop. They hold on.
The HP, though, made that a very ambitious but possible 1v3 clutch. But you're right, they do hold on. Northeastern at 7. But they need 8 in a row. 8 in a row.
That concept of 8 in a row, it's like you think about it and you're like, yeah, that's difficult. But like 3 rounds in, you're like, wait, that's not that far away. Like this could very easily devolve. But Kansas State, with the pace they've been showing, I mean, it is just push it over the line.
Yeah, I think you're right, but at the same time, 8 in a row without any sort of mistake.
Right.
That is difficult. You know, even if it doesn't feel that way, you know, you get 3 or 4 in and you start to take your foot off the gas a little bit. You go for something a little bit more ambitious than you should, and you find yourself up against the wall and up a creek without a paddle.
This is a trend for Mansell. He loves being in this position. The idea he's going to catch up a rotation or a push. Balance going down, but not quite expecting that heaven position from Akai. Maybe expecting the rotation over to ramp potentially, but regardless, I'm not sure. That's something Northeastern could be reading in future rounds because that's something Ans's been leaning towards a lot. But I think this gunfight towards that side is going to be the next pivotal one because they have no smoke to cross.
Well, no problem. Nobody's speaking. And, well, the shot was missed when the swing did come in, so... Well, Mild might have found a brilliant timing right here. Oh, but he misses the shot. That was a must-win. He might find another. Yes, he will. Mild onto Akai, and now the pinch in towards A can happen. Long-range Gray, but re-up. Good for it. Only good for the 1. And the 2-on-2.
This vent is going to be the crucial rotation, but unfortunately it's too dangerous for Northeastern to consider. 1 player through Heaven, 1 up through Secret. It's a split. 2 1v1s for map and series. This is dangerous
for R1 to hold. Oh my goodness, the timing was so brutal. Buttermilk doesn't have to peek here. There's no reason.
Smoke will obstruct the angles as well.
Yogi. If there's a guy to do it, it would have been him. 16-7, the no scope, it doesn't connect. A dominant game, number 3. But man, was that a series.
I was holding my breath there towards the end. I was just waiting for Yogi to pop off, and he got that first, but the trade was quick. I mean, man, it delivered. I was at the edge of my seat for so much of it. I mean, while Nuke was definitely one-sided for a big portion of it, there were so many opportunities for Northeast to come back into that, and while they seemed to be lacking pace for a bit, it wasn't too far to reach, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. One thing to note, though, is it's a little bit concerning for Kansas State moving forward, though, in the playoffs, that their star players just disappeared so conspicuously in that second map.
This shot is so important.
Yeah, absolutely was. I mean, especially for the mental as well. But
it's worse than the save, but yeah, continue.
But yeah, like Kansas State, if they can't rely on Mild and R1 to consistently be showing up, you know, if that was a fluke, okay, that's fine. Like I think I mentioned, this is the first time I've seen them, you know, this season. But if it's not a fluke, that is a little bit concerning. What is not concerning is the fact that we have an interview. Let's take a look, take a listen. Kansas State player jumping in. We're going to be speaking with R1. How's it going? Congratulations on your victory right there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's talk about, I feel like, the elephant in the room. We on the desk, we were setting this up. We felt like you guys were positioned to take this potentially just in 2, and then overpass happens. What went wrong on overpass?
Our A default was a bit rattled. We weren't really able to take mid and bathroom, so we really wanted to. I think it was a bit awkward towards mid because they didn't throw util we were expecting them to, and we just weren't able to flash them off and get the picks that we wanted, which led us over relying on trying to go B or going out fast. So we couldn't really go on a passive default that would probably work a little bit better for us in normal situations. But they played really well on CT side, and I think the way they played definitely countered us pretty well.
And so, I mean, in talking about kind of performances, I mean, on Mirage, I mean, you absolutely popped off. We saw some rounds where you had the AWP in your hands, and the flicks were absolutely ridiculous. And it's crazy to think about that. Overpass is specifically one of the maps that Vincent and I touched on, where the performances were ones that kind of make the difference. Do you think if it was that extra 10% on the individual side that you guys would have been able to push it over the line, or do you think it was more of a tactical side of you?
It's a little bit of both. We lost a lot of individual fights. I think I whiffed a couple of shots of my own as well, especially during T side. I couldn't get the trades that I should normally be able to get, in my opinion. But we lost a lot of individual fights that we definitely need to win. But if we play together, I think we can make it a lot more competitive on that map. Because on Mirage and on Nuke, it was definitely that case. And as you can see, the result was a lot better.
Well, let's talk about the journey that you guys are going to be on here moving forward. Because, listen, congratulations on the victory tonight. I mean, big win, that's for sure. But, I mean, if things go according to the expectations, you'll more than likely meet Kennesaw State in the next round. Do you know that team? Are you aware of what they have to offer? And do you have any expectations going into that massive matchup in the round of 8?
Yeah, Kennesaw State's definitely a very good team. They've been around for a couple of years. They have some very good players. Obviously, so a couple of advanced players as well that are extremely good at what they do. I think individually, they're an extremely good team, and I think, especially tactically, they're going to be very well-rounded. So, if everything goes according to plan, we end up playing them. I'm expecting a game that's going to be very reliant on how fundamentally and tactically good we are, less so than individually. But gunfights will definitely be a big part of it.
I look forward to potentially seeing that Kennesaw coming up next, so we'll see if that gets confirmed. R1, before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out, say hello to while we have you on the stream?
Shout out to my boys on my league team that are currently watching. I just picked up opping recently for them, so they've been teaching me a lot.
Yeah.
And then got a couple guys, Blocky, who's currently playing in events for Mogfear right now. He's taught me a lot of shit. Oh. My bad. So, but he's taught me a lot, and he's helped me out in learning, a lot of util, a lot of positions, and a lot of fundamentals that I use to this day.
Cool, awesome. Well, appreciate your time, R1. Congrats again on the win, and definitely let your team know. Congratulations from us. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you have a good one too. Thank you.
We will. Lots of good input and insight there, I think, from R1. I think they, based on what he said, to me, Birdie, it feels like they had a pretty good read of the situation and understanding of what was going wrong on Overpass. That's what I kind of gathered from that.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing that I'd really like to put forward here is that I don't think they should be concerned, or I don't think they should be scared to play Overpass moving forward as well. I think that was one of those situations where there's a lot of compounding factors. The way that Northeastern played probably didn't help. And while that's something that they might have to consider moving forward, it's Overpass is the map you need to play. You know what I mean? Being scared to play that based off of like a little bump in the road is not something you should want.
Definitely not. And they're definitely going to need to have that in their back pocket. We are headed to a short break, though. It's going to be Kennesaw State, as mentioned previously, going to go up against the University of Guam. An interesting matchup. First time we'll be seeing Guam on the stream. Definitely not going to want to miss it. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
was attempted pick coming in for the Tempered Fate out of Light
I
Pulse,
thought
but
they
it didn't
might try
connect.
to collapse it.
They were looking to see if they can get the pick on an
Needs to be
Ubi.
careful.
And now Aslak gets flashed on. Here's the true shot barrage. That's a
Oh!
long one. Hard
He
no!
kills him!
Hard is huge! They can't stop him, and Aslak finds Light Pulse.
He's in! Oh my god!
Hard.
Aggressive position up here, and I think of it is used a very awkward way. It might be able to reveal his position, but Scott Flyboy doesn't need to use it now. And somehow, Scott Flyboy is able to take out 4 members.
And
They got him.
Samira locked in. Jeff
Oh,
does
no!
a lot of damage, but is finally slain by the Ren. A double kill. Gonfun trying to survive, but it should be too much to bear as they lose 4 members. Only the mid laner survives, or does he? Because Lobos wants it. He is on the
That's
prowl.
it.
He's hunting down, and it's an ace. That will be game, victory, and series won by Maryville.
Ultimately a 1-on-2.
Pulling out. Last one alive. That'll be a destroyed rendezvous. They're running out of bullets. They have to make a reloading effort if they want to repeat again, but the off is here. Jump for a shot. Bait it out. A beautiful one from Bolo. A 3K.
God.
Unleash power, almost getting him.
Oh.
Hard gets 2. They actually turn it around because they got the solo kill on the other side that helped out.
They
Now
killed each other in bot
You
lane.
gotta kill Gorica. Can you kill Gorica? I don't think so.
Bam,
He's too
bam,
large.
bam, bam,
He's
bam.
huge. He's throwing those axes and getting a triple kill.
I really don't know what all this utility is looking to accomplish, but I guess it's doing it. They're still alive. 1 HP, 1 player, 1 chance to stop and keep this opportunity under their belt. 1 more shot needed. 6 bullets left. A kill.
Oh!
Can't do it. It's Flowery with another 4K.
Alrighty, well, as you saw, we have a whole lot of action coming on here at the NACE Star League, and it's been a week. We've had a lot of Valorant this week. Rocket League happened all the way back on Monday, which does feel like a long time ago, considering I've been on every Valorant show. But I will not be here this weekend. We got some awesome games coming at you, though. Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Rainbow Six, all happening here on this stream. Make sure that you're tuning in because it's playoffs for every single one of these games, and that means things are very exciting, as was our previous series of today for the Counter-Strike side of things. We're getting into our second, though, Birdie, and, well, we have a bit of an interesting one. And I say interesting, and what I mean by that is it could be one-sided. Kennesaw State going up against the University of Guam, 6-1 to the 2-6 Tritons.
And I think early impressions for us, one-sided is a bit of an understatement. Coming into this, I mean, I'll be frank, I'll cut to the point. I think this game is going to be about University of Guam showing what they've got. Like, what they have to offer, essentially. Like, what can they do with the server at all? And it's going to be a development game. Kennesaw, I think, not only outclassed them, I think these players are a whole different level. We're talking careers worth of more time invested into the game compared to University of Guam, and I'm almost 100% positive it's going to show in the server.
Well, I mean, you set out a pretty stark contrast, and I think that's fair. Let's talk a little bit about who is going to take the server, so we can set that contrast in motion. You'll notice, if you're familiar with Kennesaw, a very lacking of a Seb, which is unfortunate. But Seb not in tonight. JMO will be taking his place, and we'll talk about JMO and his credentials, which are very solid. But he's joined by the normal Nitsua Ludicity, Avarice, and Gun Wounds is the standard lineup here. And on the other side, Tyname, Termulo, Jakey, Weary, and Snow. And so let's talk about Kennesaw State. Why do we feel as if they are such a significant favorites? Well, number one, they were top 8 last semester in the spring, and in fairness, they played against a lot tougher opposition in order to get there in the Premier Series last semester than they have this semester. In addition to that, whilst they have lost some of the firepower that they had on offer in Slight and Gonzo, they are still incredibly strong. This Kennesaw State team, I mean, Nitsua, tons of main experience. Ludicity is currently playing in an intermediate, and I mean, Abner currently on open, but has some main experience as well. And Gun Wounds is the sort of the cherry on top. The newest member of the squad is someone you've even had the chance to play with.
Right, and while he hasn't really played ESCA since ESCA Season 34, I mean, he's got advanced experience, and having been playing this game for that long, that experience doesn't really disappear. And if anything, he's probably only grown as a player since then. Maturity affects your mental game a lot, and that's honestly what makes a lot of the difference at that level. And so, again, from what we were able to find, this University of Guam roster, all these credentials we're describing for the Kennesaw State side, we couldn't find anything for these guys.
Well, and you know, again, this is not to be disrespectful in any way. I just want to be clear. Like, we're not saying this to set the University of Guam up for getting dunked on or anything like that. It's just to compare and contrast and see the difference that is very clear to see, and might be the case in the server. Here's the map pulled up. It's Mirage going into it. University of Guam, I think this is understandable. This is a map where I think, given the disparity in the experience levels, it's not going to be as big of a problem on a map like Mirage as it would be.
You can let the aim talk. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, the tactics don't matter as much in a map like Mirage. The timings, individual gunfights can flourish if you let them. I think that could backfire. I think Kennesaw could be motivated on a map like Mirage to just go mega aggro and get in your face. That could backfire to Kennesaw even, actually, depending on how much they're taking it seriously. And I don't know. Like, Mirage is a toss-up in the sense that, like, it depends how Guam show up. If these are players that have just come from other games and they shoot really well, Mirage is a great map to pick up, for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that's a good point to be making, right? Like, we were looking at these players, and you know, time invested pretty limited compared to what we see with this KSU roster. I mean, like, just to put it in perspective, like, a lot of these players for Kennesaw State, I mean, they've put thousands and thousands of hours into this game. They've invested, you know, hundreds and hundreds of scrims into this game. It's not something that's insignificant. Whereas for Guam, like, they're sort of like me in that I play very casually and maybe watch a lot more on the competitive side. So it's that sort of differential that is on the cards, and I think that's potentially going to be shown more so on a map like Vertigo. This is a Kennesaw classic, a special, if you will, something that they're known for. I mean, they're so known that I have added the moniker of the King of B to Seb, who's the normal starter for this Kennesaw roster, and Nitsua has been fantastic. He's used a UMP to fantastic, you know, victories over on Vertigo as well. Like, this is a map that Kennesaw feel at home at, and should we need it, overpass will be the final map. But I think the should we need it part is really what is coming down to right now. It feels like we probably won't, as both of us have gone for Kennesaw State.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Part of me wants to believe in the underdog story. We saw in the last best of 3 series, the Northeastern, they put up a fight. But we were talking about players there that have seen competitive play, not only in previous seasons in NACE, but also elsewhere. And they play together consistently. You know, that's a roster that's drilled, that plays several times a week, continuously in and out of collegiate. And that's something Kennesaw, well, I'm not sure that they play together as much. They definitely have the individual capabilities to just take this over, in my opinion.
Well, but that's the thing. They don't play individually because they have, I mean, Nitsua is currently, I don't think Nitsua is on the team, but Ludicity is. I think Abner is.
Oh yeah, they got Ludicity playing.
And Seb is. So, like, you know, it definitely is a situation where there's a lot of experience and a lot of active play on these rosters, or on this Kennesaw roster. So, you know, kind of, I think what you were setting up there was the difference between a team like Northeastern that we were like, well, they're probably going to get beaten here, but they have some sort of chance into this, and then they pleasantly surprise us, versus a team like University of Guam. The difference is that experience level and the time invested in them as a team. The good news is for University of Guam, if we're just taking some small victories, this is their second semester as a squad. I think they had pretty much the same lineup in the spring. They didn't have all too much success, but what they did do was have a lot of time together in the server. And listen, that means a lot. I don't want to take away from that. Mirage coming up, and well, if I had to give it a guess, I think that Kennesaw State, they're definitely going to come out sweet.
I expect this round. I assume they'll be starting on the CT side because it's the pick of Guam, but I imagine they'll be going aggro this round. I think it's really important if you're in the seat of Kennesaw to set the pace right off the bat. You don't want it to let an underdog get comfortable, if that makes sense. You want them to be trying to think of what your next move is the entire time so that they never get a chance to play their own game. And that does start in the pistol round. So getting in their face, making sure that you're taking the gunfights on your own terms, I expect all of this from Kennesaw.
Well, I want to flip that actually and look at it from the Guam perspective for a moment. I think equally you want to make sure that you don't allow that to happen, that you do play your own game, and that you don't allow Kennesaw State to dominate the conversation, to dominate the areas where the gunfights are going to be. And you as the T side, that's the one power you do have. You decide where the fights happen and win.
Or if the CT side is pushing, you can always just decide to concede and use the information that you gain from that to aggress elsewhere. Mirage is a map where lurks can be extremely powerful. So, if you do have 3 players on the Kennesaw side just pushing you towards mid, you can't just walk up Palace, take that 1v1, and if you come out on top there, hey, listen, it's an open bomb site, and who knows how that goes from there.
Yeah, exactly. So, maintain that control is what I want to see from Guam. And we're setting things up right now. And I think that we've covered a lot of the basics here, but we've already seen Mirage once tonight. And what would you say the keys to success were?
For which team, sorry?
No, just for Mirage in general.
Oh, for Mirage. Tapped out for a moment there. I think it really comes down to the lurks, to be honest, because there's usually a really good sense on the CT side of where the T's are trying to take map control. Usually that happens towards mid, so you see the window smoke, maybe a cat smoke, a connector molly, and a couple gunfights exchanged, but that usually draws rotations from the CT side as they try to make sure that presence isn't being overwhelmed, let's say. And that opens the door towards Palace, towards apartments, for any lurks to have impacts, and if the T's aren't noticing any congestion from the CT side, then that opens the door for them to, make inroads towards where they're getting map control. If you're in mid, boost into window, try to get into ladder, and set yourself up for those later on situations. And so that's really an important part of Mirage. I don't think it comes down to the opening duels. I think it comes all down to the mid round and the later on situations.
Well, I think opening duels certainly help, of course, but
of course,
yeah, no, definitely in the in those late round situations, especially if you put yourself in positions to clutch up, positions to have like 2v2s as opposed to like 2-on-4s, the numbers add up, I guess, is the point I'm trying to get at there. But not sure what the problem is here. Hopefully we get in ASAP. Appreciate patience. Everybody is showing here. And with that being said, I think just talking generally about how things have been set up with regard to these playoffs, things are a little bit interesting because we talked about where Northwood and Davenport are sort of the teams to beat with regard to the top and bottom sides of the bracket, but I think the really interesting conversation point is whether or not Michigan Tech can put up a fight against that Northwood team on the lower side. They've unfortunately been dialed up a real tough task in order to make it through such a difficult opponent so early on as well. I think Michigan have sort of gotten unlucky this season. Like they played Kennesaw early, they lost to Kennesaw, then they had to play both Northwood and Davenport, if I'm not mistaken. So, yikes.
I mean, we could, as you're talking about kind of the bracket a little bit too, where do we rate Kennesaw in this situation? Because, the round of 8, the quarterfinals currently looks to be Davenport and RIC. And then the following matchup from that would be the winner of this match versus Kansas State. And so, do we see Kennesaw State as an underdog to try to take on this team?
So it's difficult to say, and I think the reality is that without Slight or Gonzo, who were, it was initially Brett and Slight, it was fall of 2021 that kind of put this Kennesaw State team on the map, I think. And then Seb and Gonzo were learning from those two players during that season. Did a lot of learning. They made their way up from main into advanced, and I mean, Seb, I think he's a very good player. Is currently a little bit stagnant right now where he's at, but Gonzo made a step up from main in just like 3 seasons to being one of the best advanced players there is, and it's been very impressive. So a lot of the pressure on this Kennesaw team is on those bits of firepower, and that's not to take anything away from the rest of this team that I just got done hyping up. I don't want to do that, but I think without those additional pieces, it's hard to fight against Davenport or fight against the Northwood.
I mean, and that's part of what I think will make that Kennesaw versus Kansas State, but that potential game so interesting later on is that I think either one of these teams could come out on top of that matchup, and then heading into the one after that, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, certainly. I think we're finally getting into it. This has been a little bit of a time coming. This should be a fixed knife round, just because, as you mentioned, the pick was the Tritons, and so Kennesaw State should have their decision at where they want to go.
Yeah, so just to confirm, they did pick CT Side Mirage Kennesaw, and so we'll see if what we've talked about, what we've been setting up this entire time, does end up coming to light. Dooley's exactly what I was expecting.
What we were looking for. Here we go.
No util.
Yeah, where he didn't buy anything.
Is this a mistake? Is he maybe saving for an op preemptively? I'm somewhat confused, but they've got the dink.
I hope not the op save. That's a little bit. That was not even close to it.
Listen, you take this amount of damage, that's for sure. Kennesaw State already put between a rock and a hard place. How does he get that shot? Swinging through, snow going down, but still a wounded Kennesaw side. The Tritons aren't out of this just yet.
Abnerus, though, swinging out, those dualies being put to good use, and JMO once more. Gunwoods gets dinked as well! Oh my goodness! They're so low. Turmulo, there we go. Getting onto the site. Gunwoods is down, and Abnerus is just jumping in deep into this one. 2v3. Nitsua. Nitsua. Gotta hit that shot, bud. Nitsua.
Wake up, Austin. Teammates need you, maybe not. Okay, it's the dualies of Abner to close it out. Yeah. What a chaotic pistol round. What is happening?
Yeah, that was outrageous. Like a bunch of dinks there from the Tritons. Definitely giving off a good vibe from me.
Oh, he's already done it.
I think this is just to troll you at this point. We had an interaction on Twitter, me and Nitsua, a couple weeks ago. I officially... He wanted my approval, and so I officially gave him my approval. The best UMP collegiate player.
I remember the last time I was on the Kennesaw broadcast with you, you mentioned his tendencies to buy the UMP, and he proceeded to troll me through that entire series of having absolutely ridiculous impact with it. But this guy here from JMO is starting to connect for some damage, but the Delio goal from Weary is going to connect onto Guns. He didn't deserve that at all.
Man, you're telling me Weary didn't buy anything in the first round and then bought a deagle in the second?
I don't think he realized. He probably bought before one of the restart. Oh, okay.
Oh, he probably did buy before the restart. You're right.
Yeah, that's probably unfortunate. But I mean, hey, at least he's got money for this round.
That's true. Yeah, fat tax, to be precise. Hey, nice Brokey sticker right there. I'm a big fan of that setup.
Did Mitsuo get any kills with that EMP?
He did, yeah.
Alright, well, surely he's setting himself up for more. I don't imagine he's going to stop. As long as that UMP is alive, I imagine he's going to be in the face of the University of Guam. But this is a gun round. The grenade's going to connect for 50 points of damage onto Jakey, but this isn't executed if I've ever seen one. They're walking right into the lion's den, so to speak.
That they are. Look at who's on the other side of this wall. Nitsu at close range. And there's only 2 flashes. There they both go.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
going to get taken out. Nicely done. I think those flashes certainly helped out just a little bit. Playing, well, and finding nice shots. There we go. This is looking a lot better. Omnirus is taking something away, and Atrax with a kill. The MP9 comes around the corner, and there's Gun Wounds. He's now asked to clutch 1v2, but he's already taken the bomb out. And there's no way he's taking this fight. Gun Wounds with the ultra aggression. He gets the 3rd round for Kennesaw State.
And playing the confidence in a clutch situation like that is good, not only going to set the pace for your confidence as a player, but it's going to set the pace for the level of respect that the other team can expect from you moving forward. And so far, I mean, I wouldn't say Kennesaw State are trolling. I would say they're giving it a good shot, but they have been really aggressive. They haven't been respecting the try-ins. You know, we saw the close angles towards ramp, but every player's just more than willing to take a fight right now.
I mean, listen, I think that we can pretty much sum this up in the fact that Nitsua had 2,900 left and he bought the UMP.
Agreed.
Yeah, you know? Like, it doesn't matter how much you like the UMP or the MP9 or any other SMG for that matter. When you have money for the other guns, you just buy them.
Oh, well, I thought that was the Deagle, but regardless, a good shot nonetheless, but a flank respawn to Termulo, not quite ready for Nitsua. As Goes activates towards window, the bomb down, and I think Snow isolated as well. It's either going to be done or Nitsua to go for that kill. There we go.
That looked a little weird. Thought that was on his head, but we are rocking a pretty large crosshair. Maybe it's hard to see.
Yeah,
You a big crosshair guy? Like big crosshair versus the tiny one?
Okay, so I thought you meant, am I a big fan of crosshairs there for a moment?
No.
So
that's why I clarified.
I feel like, I play native resolution, so I personally like, correct. I don't know, I don't like small or big. I like having a gap, but I like to be able to see my crosshair fully.
Well, Nitsua not going to be able to see much of anything in this round.
They do find
Goes
opening
aggressive.
duels a decent amount of time.
I mean, can you really count that?
I mean, an opening duel is an opening duel, Vincent. Whether or not it's a UMP running you down, it still creates one less player on the other team. Again, is gonna. I mean, he's responded in kind. He's responded with aggression, but this is an open. Maybe a hindsight towards ramp because Snow's gone on shot. Oh, never mind. Gunwood's cleared that out. Bomb down towards ramp. Weird's gonna have to try to recover this, and his teammate towards mid will have to be the supporting factor. 4v2 situation.
Yeah, getting this bomb back is a real tough Varsity around the corner. And foul, she wrote. Swinging into 2 additional CTs, not the way to go for the Tritons. Kennesaw State up to 5, and there's no way he's just going to keep buying the
I think he's gonna
Yep.
keep buying the
Yep,
UMP
yep.
until they lose the round. I think that's the current pace we're gonna see.
Listen, I don't want to say that he's doing this for my benefit, but I feel like it's at least partially for my benefit.
So you're to blame.
Maybe.
I'll keep that in mind.
I told him he was the best collegiate UMP player, and he is.
Listen, I need to go to the scriptwriters for this game and figure out how the Tritons keep finding these opening duels, because honestly, like, they're hitting decent shots, they're just falling apart in these later on situations. Gunwood's once again doubling up. You can't keep allowing him to do this.
Yeah, he's been dominant. 10 and 2 right now. The double kills are simply phenomenal. He's got another.
No trade again. Before it's connected
Jury?
instead. Yeah, he's got it.
What? Gun wounds. There's just no way. He cannot do it. Not like that.
He
The
wants
ace on
it.
the cards. Doesn't work bad. And he's
got
gonna
it.
get it. Even despite a bit of a pre-fire there from Weary.
Who was it towards top mid?
Weary.
Weary? That's absolute trash. He got the he's fracking out currently. I'm not quite sure how that came to fruition. That spray seemed a little too awkward. I don't know how he lost control of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but what I do know is Gun Wounds is currently dominating. No way he'll do it again.
Nitsua might be setting up this time. He's gone here for every single round. This time he's got the kill up. But he's dropped the
On to
UMP.
Weary. Well, you know, if you're gonna get an AK, you gotta get the AK.
Honestly, I was expecting him to keep it.
The lore is falling apart.
Alright, Vincent, you're reading the script. What happens next?
Well, Triton's just going to check out what's happening here today. They're going to try and get a couple of players over into Palace, and they're good to do that, but the problem is there's a Ooh. Taking a duel, and Jakey shuts him down.
He's being hunted. There's look at all the attention being focused on him. That once again opens the door for Gunwounds to swing out. Stuck on the bomb side, Snow is just juggling these weapons. Gun continues to deliver a wide swing to catch him off guard. Kennesaw up to a 7th. It seems like once again the entries just went the way of the Tritons, but the rotations just seem to be so strong. I mean, there's a good way to categorize this. The playbook of the Tritons aren't very deep. It's very clear that they're focusing on grouping up and trying to play the round as 5 players to try to lock into a bomb site. And it seems to be that, you know, wherever the first sign of first contact is, that's usually where the rest of the players have gone. And that's why we see...
That's fair.
It is. That's why we see the Kennesaw players being so quick on the rotations. That doesn't even open the door for the Tritons. If they're aware that they can fake, then maybe a round could come out. Oh, these are good kills.
Well, instead of just the one opening pick, it's 2, and Gunwounds goes down. Nitsua, he's got a rifle. What? Sorry. This does not compute.
Oh, 2 bullets.
He's got 1 bullet. Stop taking this fight, Nitsua. Oh my goodness. It's not even like it's an AK. It's not like he's guaranteed a kill if he gets his headshot.
He's doing a bit of trolling, but he's got the read as to where these players are going, and unfortunately it's straight into the arms of his teammate.
They are even.
The bomb's gone too. Forced to go back to contest for it. Oh no, not the nade! He's gone.
He's been turned into a ghost snow human hybrid.
Oh.
The 1v2? Oh no, so close, and the Tritons nearly pick up a round off the back of what was not just 1 opening pick, but 2.
It's crazy to me because usually games don't go this way. You know what I mean? Usually when you see streaks of dominance from a team, it's like they're failing to get the opening kills, hence why they're losing the round. We're seeing Tritons with the opening duels, and it's like hence why they're losing the round. That makes no sense to me.
No. He's back to the old faithful. I think his teammate smoked him off there to stop Nitsua from pushing.
I can see that.
I'm gonna choose to believe that, regardless of whether it's true or not. But he's been stopped, at least for now. Flashbang going into his teammate. Interesting. J-Mo taking the duel. Hey, got a clue that Nitsua's up top, and the UMP rings out.
A little bit of miscommunication there on the use. So, another one. Do we need more? All right.
Yeah, we do. There's the 4th volley, guys. How much money is that?
Oh no! No!
Nitsua, you are a terrible human.
You know he's gonna hear that later.
He is. He is. I stand by my statements. Listen, to be fair, we've met. It's fine. We're friends.
Do you see it?
I've gone. Why'd you have? Like, there's no reason for that.
Okay, in his defense, it's actually a good gun.
I was about to say. Ironically, this gun's not bad.
And the fact that it's a 2-shot kill and its first like 5 bullets are extremely predictable makes it really fun to use. Unfortunately, you just don't move very quick.
Yeah, it's like having. I mean, it's like if the AK were twice as heavy.
It had 4 times the ammunition.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, there's got to be a reason why you're twice as heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're carrying twice as much lead.
Abner's
He's gone down for it.
Abner here is going to be the opening. Not the opening to this round, but at least the one to make the difference because this is information. And he's definitely... He's got more of it.
Oh, he wants to catch him. He wants to catch him bad. That's not the bomb, though. That's the real problem.
The Tritons, they're waiting for this. They know what's coming back. 2 players here. Only 1 more for Avner, but honestly, heading towards the A bomb site here, this is dangerous. I'm happy to see them reconsider it because Kennesaw had fully rotated in. Termulo looking to activate towards mid.
Well, this could have been interesting. Unfortunately, Termulo's feet giving him away. It's what tucked in the firebox.
What happened to the M249?
Gun Wounds died. He died first, like years ago.
Oh, that's a nice
Bomb gonna
little
get
alert.
planted here.
On the wrong bomb site too. This is crazy.
Well, the
Where
right
are-
bomb site.
well, as in the CTs are
Is
on
this
the
the
wrong bomb
first
site.
bomb plant outside the pistol?
I think so.
Or no, they didn't even get a bomb plant to the pistol.
What's useful for Wary here is the fact that he definitely knows where both the players are coming from now. The bomb's
Nitsuo
planted for
has-
him.
Jimbo has a kit, Nitsuo has a smoke. So, oh, nice shot from Nitsuo. Long range, the UMP would have been problematic, but the AK certainly not. Full 10 seconds. Nitsuo. That's reasonably close.
All right.
Jimbo had a kit. Like, there's no need for that.
Why doesn't he have a kit? Look at how much money he has.
That's a good point. Don't be a loser. Buy a diffuser.
Don't be Nitsuo. Stop
No.
buying UMPs.
No. Keep buying UMPs.
I'm happy to see the M249 snot bro back in. He heard you.
He is doing a little bit of the trolling.
The fact that he just keeps playing these like 90-degree angles where it's like you swing him and die, yeah, like it's
He wants to push this smoke.
there's just no default coming out from University of Guam right now, and
Yeah, Jimbo's flash not so effective. Gun Wounds though, he's very effective. He you shoot them in the head and it was incredibly effective.
that tends to work. I put at least a couple of hours into the game, and I can confirm. A couple of bullets to the head of another player. With most guns will usually put them out of commission, at least for the round.
Unless you're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yes, with the specific weapons that we absolutely. That's another story, and another kill. To get back into the round, the top fragger for the CT side out of the server, but does that mean you're going to be able to contest with the other three? That's yet to be determined. Turbulent 7 HP, 30 seconds left. Running towards B is ambitious. Does he have time?
I mean, if he were unstopped, yeah, but he's gonna be stopped. Just like that, Avnarisk with the swift 2 bullets through a wall into the back of the skull. It's the AK grabbed as well. Do it.
You're egging him on.
I am. I want it.
So, you know what's gonna... Oh...
Alright, I can
Is he
live
an
with
opper? I don't remember.
this. Nitsuo, he does a bit of...
He does a bit of opping? Alright, yeah. It's so fast. Like, every single time that... I
So
feel like
swift.
every single time that University of Guam have taken this mid-fight, I feel like they've won. It's just they don't do
have.
anything with it.
Ooh, this be missing a little bit of... Oh, okay, confidence. That close range, that was incredible. And he wants another one. No human. Open the round. Has another frag there. Ooh, the Molotov. A little bit late, but if it had been just a few seconds previous, would have confirmed a kill. 3v3. And yeah, you're right. Like, the Tritons, they just take mid-control, like, so often, and they get these openings.
Unfortunately, the trade has been very quick from Gunwoods in almost every instance. This walk-up with the B bomb site. Everyone's been clearing too many angles alone. And Avner's been able to pick up a double off the back of that Jakey now. Not a name we've been talking about too much, but an opportunity now for him to deliver.
Is his...
I love it.
Is that McCree?
I think so, but it's like the Newt. I forgot what's his name?
I have no idea.
I don't know the name of the penguin. All I know is Newt. Which, by the way, I love that penguin. It's blessed. This image is blessed. Jakey should win this just because of his profile.
Well, that's currently denied. Sorry. Gun Wounds. I'm gonna have the AWP. JMO bringing it back as well. Does he give it back to Nitsua? Or is he cutting him off?
So, okay, you know what you're encouraging here, by the way? I guarantee you we're going to run into a game where Kennesaw has 5 players with the UOPs for the entire duration of the game.
No, that would never happen.
Never?
Never.
You're right. Gunwoods is too...
He's too much of a Chad.
Yeah, too involved at farming to want to pull out the UMP, but wanting to pump up with the AMP. I mean, why not give him the chance?
He's a big fan of potatoes.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He does do a bit of farming.
Oh, I see.
As mentioned. Gunwoods over the top of the smoke. The tragedy is Wary being the one out. Also,
They got
the
it again?
tragedy. They have got it again, right? How do they keep getting away with it?
This kill
Like,
would be
it's a-
huge, but once again, just the trade. It's the follow-up. The trades are so close to winning a round. I feel like just because it's like they set themselves up, and then Kennesaw decide we're done being respectful, and then they swing.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, there's definitely some big shots being hit by the Tritons. There's no doubt about that. I would say the experience is clearly on Kennesaw's side, and that's part of the reason why it looks so dominant when they swing these angles. But Tritons, they do be shooting some heads.
I think with look at Jakey, he's got some utility, right? I think if they used some of this to take like some of the fights that they're taking, like imagine if there's a flashbang over towards B. I forgot who got the pick that like tried to get out there. I mean, that could have been an open B bomb. So that's an example.
It was Termulo who got the pick on Abner.
Yeah. And it is those small things that can make the difference in Counter-Strike. It's like, I mean, despite the fact that we're seeing gunplay really be the big determining factor right now, once that starts being like equalized, the utility is and the positioning, the timing is the rest of the thing that makes the difference. And I mean, the Tritons, they haven't been using a lot of it. I mean, even when we've seen them walking up towards A, have we been seeing like the standard A executes?
No, not really.
Ooh. You should be happy to get away with that one.
I just the ambition right there is simply outrageous. And he's gonna get it. He's gonna win that.
The underpass play actually punished. Okay, I mean traded. Probably the better term. And then Negev in the hands of Abner. He's positioned over towards B and just toying with it. Oh, Jamo doesn't take that works. He's gotten away with it. And in through the window, the bomb shifted. Oh, he's not ready for this. Surely not.
Well, there's Termulo, the last alive, and yeah, his footsteps have given it away.
Now this is troll. You see the AK, you keep the Negev. That is troll.
You have the Negev, and you buy the auto sniper. That is.
We keep saying that the players are trolling, and that they decide to make us eat our words. Oh boy.
Well, I mean, it's 14-0, so that's fair.
Oh, that's actually okay. Unironically, that's a good play. Swing with the M249, bait the Tridents into thinking that's a good gunfight, and then you walk right into the op of Nitsua. That's
Even when
unfair.
they're trolling, they're winning.
Exactly.
Oh, nice play from Wary.
All right, the 3 autos left. Only the trolls remain.
Wary's positive right now, 16 and 14. I want that to be like known, how hard it is to go positive when your team is going 14 and 0.
On the same boat.
Like even a single player going positive here is impressive to me, actually. And I'm
they
saying
boosted? That they're boosted, aren't they?
they are boosted.
The fact that they keep feeding them kills there is that's all the story that needs to be told. But Termulo's in this 1v situation, but it will be the auto snipers to come out on top. Vincent, not the closest half we've seen. 15-0, and he hopes heading into the next one.
Yeah, I hope to talk more about our sponsors, Extra Life. You can change kids' health to change the future. Join their super team page today. Check them out and all of the amazing work that they do over at Extra Life. Also, question.
Okay.
Can the Tritons get like an Extra Life?
That's up for debate. It's going to come down to this best round. I mean, that extra life might come in the form of a second map, to be honest, because I think that's what it's probably going to take for them to get back into this. But Kennesaw State,
I
confident.
don't think they're getting back into this one. Actually.
No, listen, Termulo, we've been sleeping on her.
Right. Next question, Your Honor.
I have nothing to add.
All right. Well, nothing to add, nothing to see here. We're gonna just wrap that one up. GG go next, as I think that's what you have to do if you're the Tritons. University of Guam. That sucks.
Yeah,
Like, it really does. I'm again not trying to be disrespectful. It's just a situation like this. University of Guam coming into this, they're giving it their best shot, and honestly, they're doing pretty well in some aspects of the game. It's just clear that their experience level is not up to that of Kennesaw State, and for that reason, they're struggling pretty big time. I don't think there's too much to talk about, but what I do want to talk about is about this awesome giveaway. Level up right now with Monster Energy and Apex Legends. Every single tab that gets claimed from a Monster Energy drink allows you to unlock exclusive Apex Legends in-game content and gives you a chance to win the grand prize as well. Scan the QR code to sign up and claim your skins, battle passes, and more right this second. Make sure that you're not missing out on this, because this is definitely not something you're going to want to miss as well. I definitely want to make sure that I get in here because I want the in-game content for myself.
we can game with that content later.
We can indeed game with that content later. That is what we shall be doing. But for now, we on the desk will be taking a short little break. I think probably well-deserved break for the KSU squad, and a well-needed break for the University of Guam, as they're going to want to reset things. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Don't go too far. Map 2 coming up next. I genuinely think there's a question on all of our minds, and that is, it's very important. It's, will Guam get around? I have no idea. Birdie, your thoughts?
So, I think it fully comes down to how much Kennesaw are willing to troll. Because if we can touch on a serious note here. There was not a lot of utility usage coming up from the University of Guam on Mirage. Vertigo, heading into Vertigo at least. It's a map where it's defined by the utility you use. You can't walk up the A ramp. You can't go up the A ramp without utility. You can't walk into the B bomb site without utility. You can't go out mid without utility. And so, going up against a fully equipped Kennesaw State, your hope to win a round is either the pistol, or I guess either pistol, or how much they're trolling.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to admit you're right, because that pains me in every way, every time you're correct, but I think you are correct.
In general, too. Not even just... It's, every time I'm right, it pains you.
It's just... which unfortunately means I'm in pain quite often, but, you know, regardless, we get down to this one. I think that you just got to be a little bit impressed with what KSU have been able to put on display for us on map number 1. 16-0s, even at this level, are not particularly simple, and they made it look so.
Yeah, they did. There's usually a couple of close situations. We did see a couple, like, 1vx situations, but it seemed like Kennesaw were fully in control for the most part. If there was a situation that kind of got a little bit close, it's because they let it get there. Let's be honest.
Yeah, a little bit. And we are taking a look at beautiful Vertigo.
Not the current Vertigo.
I always love how old this Vertigo is.
I don't remember playing this at all.
I remember this Vertigo. I remember trolling on this Vertigo, because that's all you used to do on Vertigo.
Right. This wasn't the. This was never active duty, right? This version.
No. This was like the Office pick, you know.
Yeah. That's why I never.
You would queue up this and Office at the same time, and well, depending on which one you get, you might get some teammates jumping off of the
spawn.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting note, though, I do think the map has developed like very well. I think when it came out, it was very iffy. So, like, there were definitely changes that needed to be made. I think we've gotten to the point where it's stabilized.
Dog water.
I'm agreeing. But we've gotten to a point where the map is stabilized. Everyone really knows what to expect. And when there's flaws, I mean, everyone's playing with those same flaws. You know what I mean? And so I think it does kind of average out. I think for the most part, you can have an enjoyable experience on it. Listen, let's have an enjoyable experience.
I think the enjoyment gonna come down to what we see from these two teams, and I mean that in the most direct way. Because what did Kennesaw State put on display? What can the University of Guam do on this map, especially? And as mentioned, a home map of Kennesaw, and after a 16-0 on your own map pick, it's like expectations sort of get thrown out the window, don't they?
A little bit. I think this.
Can you please stop trolling? I just want to get the game going.
I think at this point too, I think both teams are probably just like, how do we have the most fun as possible? You know what I mean? I've definitely been in the server. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've been in the server in situations like this. I've actually double 16-0 to team, one of the stats being Vertigo, and definitely been in that situation. The other team just decided, hey, listen, if the other team's gonna have some fun, so am I. So
sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
we see the duels. Where you please have some fun. The performance of last map, I want to see you have as much fun as you can.
Yeah, we played pretty well. Here comes the push. And it's a B rush. The old brush B. Hi. Nice shot. Unfortunately, it's the only thing nice about that engagement.
Is Snow here?
I have no idea, actually.
He seemed to be AFK. Did you see that?
No, I didn't notice, actually. That's my bad.
He was holding kind of a wide angle, but he was just kind of standing still. I disconnected me? I don't know. I'll move on. I digress, but we're back, Vincent. Back to the normal ways of Counter-Strike, and the UMP count has grown since last week.
I think the more ridiculous statement here is that the PB Bison count has grown beyond 0.
It's non-zero, and that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You're on board. You understand. Jim, but you really got to check those angles, my friend. And after, I love you, but the amount of PP Bison kills you have is still 0, and that's not enough.
So who was it that it's Littlebeard, right? That said most kills in ESCA gets a reward with Bison. Or sorry, most kills with the Bison in ESCA gets a reward.
Oh yeah, I think that was Little Beer who did
Yeah.
say that. Yes.
Do you think we can get him to extend that to Nace?
To Nace? You know, listen, it might be hard. We might be hard pressed. There's probably quite a few, but also I don't know how we would track that.
That's fair.
So I'm certainly not watching all the VODs.
That's a nice smoke. Okay, that's actually very notable because that's standard utility thrown by a lot of teams whenever there's the contact up towards A, and kind of saw this as a standard take from them. Trions quite far back at the time being.
Yeah, this force buy from the Tritons, it's sort of interesting that they're force buying here, if I'm being honest. But, I mean, they have relatively decent weaponry. Part of this utility. There's none of it, but I guess if you shoot the guns, they're good for it. Over the top, and everyone having some trouble getting past the Nitsua UMP.
I wonder if that kills, if they're gonna stat track or not. If he's just actively doing it just so he can be like, just imagine you're playing with people in a pug, you're farming, you go, hey, look at my UMP, and it has like 10,000 kills on it. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm sure we'll get a chance to see. I don't know if it's stat track. I think it is though. I think I noticed that it was on the last map. This is a bit different. A Krieg.
He's looking for one taps. It's gun wounds.
Yeah, that's true. Got my one taps. Except it's gun wounds and not scream.
I don't think he's French. His gun wounds, I mean. I don't think gun wounds is French, but
you know what? He can be French for a few days.
or just this game. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's an open kill. Kind of solid. They're still hunting for this frag in mid when they've been left fruitless. The bomb looking to be recovered at some point. I imagine Kennesaw will still try to walk in towards the speed bomb site, but they've taken a lot of damage. That's
Gunwood has found his one tap.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it. I didn't see it. I heard it.
The boop. Oh, he's looking for another one here.
It's so clinical. Like, oh man, it looks good. Dude, this AK is very colorful. I love it. Oh.
That's trolling. JMO, I cannot believe you've done this.
Look at that. That's ambitious.
Oh, well, it was ambitious, but he made it work.
Oh.
Me 2. Or me 3, actually, and they've got it!
They've done it!
Tritons. They've got around a massive one, and Weary with the quad. Who else to step up in that way? Weary was so good in that last map. He was positive. He was winning opening duels left and right. I think he had like 6 or 7 opening gunfight wins.
Which is outrageous to say. Again, given the context of it was a 16-0 loss.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's impressive in a win.
Yeah. I'm fully on board. I kind of saw. Listen, they understand what they've just given up, and they're angry about it.
They want it back, but they can't have it. Yeah, JMO's not going to let Wary get away with that position. Nice shot from Termulo.
He's being hunted. He's looking for his one tap, and the patience on the scoped weapon costs him his life, but the bomb will look to go down. The post-plant situation somewhat favoring the Trions. They've got plenty of utility if they're ready to use it. Wait, are they not players? Whoa.
There we
Here
go.
we go.
About time. Nitsua getting flashed into these angles, though.
He's been cleared. Yeah, that's crisp, clean swing from Snow. The swing from Termulo is going to be just as good as well. Ludicity. This is a real 1v2. A chance for Trions to pick him around dinked, but it's not for a lot of damage. The ball not going to be stuck there. There's Ludicity. He's probably got this.
Where'd that Molly go? Where'd that come from?
It came from Jakey. Funnily enough.
Ludicity didn't throw that Molly, right?
No, he has a molly on him right now.
That's insane. Well, I don't understand that Molly.
I think he was trying to drop a smoke, but
Or maybe he was trying to throw the Molly towards Ludicity and it bounced off something.
if that happened, I can't comment.
Well, I can. That would be tragic. It feels bad, man.
You know, +1 upvote to that.
Yeah. Well, Weary. It's +1 upvote to a unfortunate loss of life. He's done it. Ninsua on the board here with UMP.
Honestly, I respect the MP5. I just noticed it. I love using the MP5. It
He does
sucks.
not have a stat track, by the way.
I'm sending this man a stat track UMP. Can we crowdfund a stat track UMP for Ninsua?
I'm down. I'm down for this.
Alright, we can go on Twitter and pull something together. No, unironically, the MP5 is one of those guns where it sucks. It actually blows, but it sounds so nice. Like,
dude, I was so ready. I was so ready for you to like come out with this like long-winded explanation about how it's actually like underrated and like in certain situations it's somewhat good, and then you just hit me with. It blows.
No,
it's actually bad.
It's actually horrendous. Like, if the MP5 was... If it was any worse...
MP5 or MP7?
I would do MP5, just because of the suppressor. Like, because there's no reason to buy the MP7, so if you're buying one of them, you just get the MP5.
Okay. Gun Wounds is doing Gun Wounds things, wounding them in the round with guns.
That's indeed. Oh.
Abner, you'll have another. That's a clean round. A little bit of a crisp, clean lock right there.
Dude. I guess back to the note of the MP5 too. So it blows, you know. In case that was, I guess I didn't get that point across before.
Unless it was not clear.
Yeah, if you didn't understand my sentiments towards the MP5, it blows. But it's just so fun to use. It's so nice to like get the triple dink on somebody. You know, like I don't think there's anything more satisfying other than like a Bison triple dink.
Yeah, but those are rare.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, those are like. I mean, you're more likely to get a knife out of a case. Let's be honest.
I agree.
Normally I'd talk about the scoreline here, but it's sort of not an interesting topic of conversation, so why don't we talk about the fact that there was an auto shotty, and I found nothing at all. Feels bad.
There's an op in the hands of Weir. That's actually something that I was looking forward to trying to find opening into the round, but he's got 2 HP left, and I imagine that the CT side will just decide to save as that AWP does actually go out of commission. Kennesaw. Post plant looking strong.
Yeah, this is interesting, to say the least. The investment continuing. Tyname recovered the op that Weary had dropped and thought maybe the 4 HP would work better for him than the 2 HP had worked for Weary. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and the Tritons are not in a good space. They've got a... Well, I was going to say their money's kind of busted, but they're buying anyway.
Hmm. Have you been tallying, by the way, how many rounds this has been buying in EMP?
Yeah, it's every round.
Ah. Understood, thank you. Just wanted to make sure that I was on the same page.
Yep, no problem. I'll keep you updated.
Okay.
No need to update you on this round, though. Kennesaw State looking like they're probably going to win it. Though Ninsua does collect another UMP kill, and here's how you know he's been UMPing all half. He's got 16k. he hasn't been needed to buy anything else. But one thing to note here is that Kennesaw aren't really. I mean, they're trolling. Let's be honest. There's a P90 and a UMP on the board, but they are just kind of running at them now. I think they're trying to go home. Yeah, I tend to agree. That is the intentions here. Up here for Weary once again. And he's got it. There's Ludicity going down. Though to be fair, I feel like KSU, they have still been throwing some utility.
Abner's positioning there is ridiculous. Sorry, continue.
They have been throwing some of these smokes though. Like the basics they've still been throwing out there. But 3v5, I mean, this is winnable. He says, hopefully.
Are we talking?
Gun wounds, 1v4. there's a guy. This is him.
Honestly, the stick towards the bomb there could have been the thing to win the round, but got off of it. His gun was swung out. First tap. Going for the stick. Snow's got him pinned, but running out of ammo. The USP
There we
to
go.
come up clutch. The second round for the Tritons. Not the worst. Not the worst one too. Two players left alive. Not even a clutch.
Listen, I'm gonna say I'm disappointed in gun wins there. If he had the A4, he wins.
If you have the UMP, he wins.
That's a little more debatable. But
Well, if it was in Nitsu's hands, he wins.
yes, if that was Ditchua with UMP in the 1v2, he doesn't.
Also,
Question.
would be crucial. That nade, I'm just left under 44 by utility alone, but he's managed to weave his way through the defense, and he's got himself a kill. But after going down, it's just Weary down at the left alone at this bomb site. The timing there, oh, the shot could have been potentially even a collateral, but the flick isn't going to connect. It cost him his life, and Jakey, he's nowhere to be found. He's playing hide and seek.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. I thought we were playing hide and seek.
Newt.
Alright, well, too bad. So, Kennesaw. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, Jakey, with how loud he's being, Ludicity had no questions about where he was coming from. Ludicity, triple kill. You know, the Tritons doing well to pick up a round here and there, but this is, as you mentioned, very much Kennesaw just running at them.
I'm curious to see what their T side looks like. Because if they're letting this map go through, that I mean, I assume they banned something like Ancient or Noob, right? I'll go and check in a moment because I have to access to that. But oh, this map is one where if you don't know how to play it, usually this is your ban. But there's what we were looking for. UMP popping off.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Ancient in the pool, like that was probably the first ban. That's my guess, unless the Tritons just have a different one ban.
So Ancient was the
It was. And another 1v2 there. This time he comes out on top. And
oh,
I've just realized that one of the Tritons players has a hot rod.
isn't that gun like ludicrously expensive?
Yeah, it is.
All right, well.
Here, I'll get an update on the mount. It might not be as expensive as it used to be.
Alright, fair enough. Mid push coming out for the Tritons, though. They want to get in the face of Kennesaw. They've been really loud with this, unfortunately. That's a narrow doorway they're pushing through. Abner's got to double the UMP with the triple. Looking to finish it off with the Glock, but that's an awkward gun to fight with and out of ammo. Tiny speed. This is outrageous. I can't believe this is happening in the playoffs, but here we are.
Nitsua got away with it. And they all died! No! Reset the counter, man. Reset the counter.
Can we put that in the top plays of the week?
I don't think that's legal.
It's not? It has my vote.
Yeah, well, it's too bad your vote means zero things, so. Oh well. Anyway, the hot rod, by the way, is $700. So yeah, no, it's expensive.
Got it on loan.
No, he's just a gamer.
Abner not having a UMP skin upsets me greatly, but I'll let him get away with it if he continues to kill. Ooh, that's a nice killer range.
It does. Good ones. Tap head, yes, please. Oh, he wanted the knife.
Someone else got it.
he was thinking about something interesting. Okay, I believe the MP7 is going to win.
Where's the MP5? I'm royally upset. But
That Molly?
that's who.
I actually like this play.
To flank?
I mean, yeah, it's not the word.
What about that?
Jakey, you're making it really hard.
Oh no! I saw it coming, but like I wasn't sure if Ludicity was like waiting for something in particular. Man, last round of the half, Vincent. A little bit more competitive than Mirage, but I mean, we have reached.
There's 200% more knife kills, so.
Wait, how many knife kills did we see on Mirage?
I don't think we saw any.
Then 200% more than 0 is still 0.
Okay, listen, you're right, but also I need you to stop. Your mouth is offensive to me.
I see.
It's not so offensive. In fact, it's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's lovely. That was just so immaculate.
Another knife?
What do you mean? What? Bruh. Well, if you're interested, I don't even know how to make this a reasonable adjustment into talking about Duncan here. So we'll just say appreciate Duncan, awesome partner. If you need something to help you up, get some donuts, breakfast sandwiches as well. By the way,
A good
really
snack
good.
for the show that's being put on. I'm loving what's happening.
True. Yeah. No, like my favorite is the chicken and bacon like croissant that they sell. Is so good. It's really fantastic.
How did he get dinked to that range and not die?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it was through the side of the wall somehow.
Yeah, the edge somehow. That's smoke.
I want to know. He's smoking this off.
Interesting.
Oh no, it's actually a legit smoke. My bad.
No, I think he just threw it in smoke and said, "Hey, watch this."
No. That was planned.
Alright, understood. We're 1v3. Been one to deliver in rounds prior, but Nitsua's got 2 guns and he's got himself 5 kills.
That is what you would call one of the rounds of all time.
Indeed, I concur.
Ah, very good, very good. Glad we could come together on this. Okay, I was about to say, Snow Human going for the old Glock armor strat is
Does
not
J-Mo
ideal.
have a gun at all?
Oh no.
No.
He doesn't need guns.
He's got a
Zeus
Zeus.
and a knife. You've heard of Scouts and Knives? No, these are Zeus and
I
Knives.
have. I didn't know they played that in the playoffs of Naystar League, but
It's sort of new this year.
good lineup. What? Is he getting duped by his teammate? I think.
He
yeah,
must
yes,
have been.
Yes, definitely. You see Nitsua going for the assist there on his teammate after his teammate killed him.
Oh no!
Not again. He's got it.
Everybody, check that one off your bingo cards. If you're playing Berta Bingo.
What is on your bingo card, Vincent?
Well, I just checked off the Zeus kill.
Okay. Did you get the like 5 knife kills in one game?
See, that's just not a bingo square because normally that's not reasonable.
I put that on my bingo card.
Okay, my bad. I guess your brain is larger than mine.
That was my free space. How does he get that kill? That's outrageous. Just running at the opponents and weary.
The number of shotguns in this round is simply unreasonable.
Yeah, J-Mo's still yet to have a gun. Ludicity's picked a target and he's hunting. It's a knife again, let's be honest.
No!
Oh no. Okay. Well, that concludes this portion of Vertigo.
That concludes this portion of the nice trolling stream. I'm glad you guys have tuned in. It's been fun. No, we still I think have an interview with Kennesaw State. Though I don't know what reasonable questions we'll be able to ask.
Only unreasonable ones.
Only unreasonable ones. I wonder. I mean, yeah, there was some good plays. The sheer number of knives were outrageous.
More than I was expecting, but I mean, I guess that's what Vertigo's good for, right? Just getting behind people.
Knife kills.
I think out of all of the maps in the game, Vertigo's the easiest to get knife kills on.
Okay. I mean, that's a take I can get on board with. Not too hot, not too cold.
Okay.
I hope I don't know who we're gonna get to talk to. Abner's been the guy the last couple of times we've been on stream for Kennesaw, but maybe we'll be surprised with somebody else. A surprise J-Mo appearance, mayhaps. Either way,
Nitsua UMP.
Nitsua UMP. I mean, that would of course be the play, but one can only hope and dream of those. So, one can hope and dream though of the look that we saw against against Kennesaw tonight. I mean, 16 rounds to none, 16 to 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more dominant than that. Any actual final thoughts on the map itself?
On a serious note, not really. I think not only did the scoreline speak for itself, the kills spoke for itself. I mean, we had a good time watching, but I don't imagine that was much fun for anyone else other than Kennesaw on the server.
I mean, listen, they at least did have some fun with it. I think that's the best you could have asked for, considering the situation. And listen, I want to say, props to the University of Guam. I mean, they really did give it their best shot. I feel like they were legitimately giving it their all in the server, and I think that's to be respected. If it's hard sometimes when you're getting dominated like that to be in a position where you're continuing to take things seriously and try your best, and I think they deserve a lot of respect for that.
I definitely agree, and moving forward as well. I mean, if you're thinking of upsides for this roster, I mean, it's a couple players to look out for. I would think. Yeah, exactly.
My name?
Obviously not like having the greatest impact, like in terms of like how the rounds kind of turned out, but being able to get kills like that in situations where you're dominant is a good sign.
Alrighty, well, we are ready for an interview. It's a surprise. Don't know who we're talking to. But Avner, my friend, close game. You really edged that one out. It was tough. How were you guys able to mentally stay tough and strong in the face of such harsh opposition?
It was a really rough game. We started out like not with the greatest mental, but as we went through the games, went through progressions, like it got better and better. And I think at the very end of it, I think we finally were able to pull it through at the end.
We did see that, and congratulations for it. On the real note, though, obviously the expected outcome tonight. I think the conversation points that I want to talk about are about the games moving forward, because this is where things start to actually get a little bit more tough. You guys, a little bit, I'd say up and down. I mean, that loss to Northeastern was a little bit weird at the very beginning of y'all's season, but y'all be playing Kansas State coming up next, so KSU versus KSU. Any expectations for that matchup?
I haven't looked very much at them. I saw the stream earlier because I was keeping my eye on because I was doing a homework assignment that was due before this match.
Let's go.
But besides that, like I saw that they were also struggling against Northeastern a bit, especially on overpass. So I think they're definitely a beatable team, and so I think we can definitely, if we have all of our players, all of our pieces, and we all play well, I think we can definitely prove who's the better KSU.
And so, moving into a matchup like that, I mean, honestly, it's difficult when you look at the bracket, right? There's so many great teams this season, and assuming, let's say you guys win out the next matchup against Kansas State, you guys would be facing the winner of Davenport and RIT, and expected outcome of that would be the Davenport victory. If you guys headed into that, I mean, that's a matchup that I'm sure you guys would be looking forward to.
I think it would definitely be a very fun game. Like, all the people at Davenport are pretty much trailblazers for the collegiate CS scene. So it's really cool. Like, I've talked to Coach Moore a few times, so he's a really nice guy. I have a few buddies who know Spec. But they're a really good bunch, really strong bunch, and they've kind of just demolished every piece of opposition that they've had in this league so far. So maybe we could piece something together, pull off some miracle, but it will definitely be a very hard game if we try to pull that off.
Well, I think along those lines, you mentioned something about your roster and like getting all the pieces solidified. That's been something that's kind of been up in the air this season. Could you speak to that a little bit? Because I think I was trying to give some lore about this Kennesaw State team. You guys started out, it was Brett and Slight who kind of really helped start things out here, and then Seb and Gonzo really took the reins, and now this semester I think you really stepped into that role with Seb as well, with Gonzo taking a step back, but both Slight and Gonzo still technically on the roster as Gun Wounds comes in. What's the situation there? Like, is it something where the rest of those players can still come in later on and just typically don't, or what's going on?
I think the main thing is just that a lot of the other players, like especially Gonzo, Seb, and Slight, like Slight was playing for Strife up until recently. Seb has Take Flight and Gonzo has X13, and they all have their different schedules. And right now, Seb and Gonzo are actually at DreamHack Atlanta playing the BYOC LAN, which got started I think really late. and it was apparently it was really rough getting things started, so they weren't able to play tonight. But I think it just comes down to how the schedule works, and clearly the priority is the advanced league because it's a higher competition to play, and it's more of along the streamline of trying to get into that pro scene at a higher tier. So it just comes down to timing, I think.
Gotcha. Oh, cool. So possibilities to see them, but just depends on the timing is kind of what I'm hearing. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, cool. I mean, it's been great to see you, all the guys. It was a whole lot of fun to watch this game. A bit of trolling, to be fair. Any final shout-outs? You want to say hello to anybody before we let you go, Abner?
I don't really have much. I never really do. But all I can say is that Austin is the sexiest man alive and a god with UMP, as we clearly saw in these games. We did.
Yeah, the Vincent seal of approval is the best UMPer in collegiate. I can say that with certainty. Well, Abner, thanks so much for taking the time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, Birdie Box, that was certainly one way to end out our stream tonight. And
Yeah.
I do always love to get to talk to Abner. He's an awesome interview, and it'll be cool to see if we see any adjustments to the Kennesaw State roster as they fight harder and harder oppositions as well. I think that's the difficulty. Any final thoughts from you, Birdie?
I think that that matchup against Kansas State's it's going to be one to look forward to for sure. I think we've got two rosters that have been looking to prove themselves beyond just getting into the playoffs, but kind of making a deep, potentially contesting for that actual title itself. That's a good way to kind of put someone head to head for once.
Absolutely. With that being said, you can head on over and take a look at all of the stuff that we have on the rest of the weekend. Both tomorrow and Sunday, we got basically anything you want. Like if you're interested in shooters, we have it. Overwatch, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, it's all there as we get involved with it. And I'm absolutely loving what we have to offer here in the playoffs of the Star League. It's been a blast, but you can get involved as well if you want to get some awesome skins for Apex Legends. You can level up now with Monster Energy, as they are having an awesome little giveaway. Every tab that you claim allows you to unlock exclusive Apex Legends in-game content, and it gives you the chance as well to win the grand prize. All you have to do, scan the QR code to sign up and claim your skins, battle passes, and more. You definitely do not want to miss this. Check it out, and it is, of course, with every can of Monster Energy. This is going to be awesome. Definitely make sure that you don't miss out. With that being said, it's just about our time to go. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and as well, appreciate all of our amazing sponsors as well, alongside of Monster, who's Duncan, Better Health, Extra Life, ROTC, and Mavix. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time here at the Star League.